हेलो गाइस। आज वापस आ गई है। सांस वापस आ गई है। और सोच रहा था कब से कि लाइव कब करे। एक आज सुबह होने, कल सुबह सोच रहा था एक कल करते हैं, बट आई थिंक
बट वो एड्रेनलिन वेयर ऑफ हो जाता ना, देन एवरीवन वुड हैव बीन लाइक वेरी रैशनल अबाउट इट. अभी तो सब यार एवरीवनस लाइक ऑन क्लाउड 9 10 11, कुछ लोग क्लाउड 10 हाक पे भी हैं. बट अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट यार, व्हाट अ व्हाट अ डे ऑफ गेम्स यार. लोग हैं, व्हाट अ
बहुत
डे ऑफ
बहुत
गेम्स.
बहुत बहुत ही बड़ा। आई थिंक फर्स्ट गेम से ही जो हमने देखा
हम्म.
है आज, लिवरपूल गेम जो हुआ है, उसमें भी आई थिंक वुल्व्स कुड हैव,
लेड. हम्म.
फर्स्ट हाफ में ही वो प्रॉब्ली 2-3 गोल मार लेते। विल स्पीक
हम्म.
अबाउट दैट आल्सो, बट पहले बहुत सारे टॉटनहम फैंस यहाँ पे ऑलरेडी आ गए हैं।
लेट्स गो भाई.
टॉटनहम, ब्रो, गेम आई डोंट नो वेदर यू वॉच्ड इट और नॉट,
हम्म.
because I know कि तो
I
यूनाइटेड
was
की।
I was watching the United game, but I watched the highlights अभी before our live and everything.
यस,
Extended highlights देख ली ताकि game का थोड़ा at least context पता चल जाए ना. You don't
करेक्ट,
want to just come with the score line जैसे for example that City वाला game also.
राइट
City
राइट
dominated them, then they were losing, then they ended up winning 3-1.
राइट।
मेरे को देखना था कि was it कि have Spurs actually like robbed it, जैसे एक बार एक वो नहीं हुआ था. I mean your Ajax game is there, your Leicester game is there. Um, मुझे देखना था कि व्हाट इज दिस एग्जैक्टली, बिकॉज 90+7 तक इट वाज 1-0 टू शेफील्ड.
यस,
ये मैं वो अपने एफपीएल चेक कर रहा था तो मैंने देख लिया था स्कोर. बट मैंने फिर भी ना, मतलब आई हैड दैट केलिनी का पिक्चर रेडी, ओके, बट आई डिडंट ट्वीट इट. आई वाज लाइक नहीं, 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 बिकॉज एवरीवन वाज हैप्पी एंड आई वाज लाइक दिस इज टू मच, ये कुछ ज्यादा ही खुश हो रहे हैं लोग. अभी कुछ होने वाला है, बिकॉज द लास्ट टाइम दे वर दिस हैप्पी यू प्लेड अगेंस्ट लेस्टर एंड यू स्कोर्ड. बर्गवाइन ने 2 गोल मार दिए थे.
लास्ट
हाँ,
मिनट गोल, यस यस।
मैंने तो बोल दिया कि भाई मैं तो अभी नहीं कर रहा.
या,
और सब लोग खुश, हा 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 स्पर्स, आई एम लविंग बिग एंज इंस्टेड. अरे चुप करो, चुप करो. एंड देन
यस,
1-1 हुआ. मैं बोला ये लोग ने खा गए. फिर भी नहीं रुके, फिर भी नहीं रुके. If we win tomorrow we go above Spurs again and something something. I was like मत बोलो. And then you won 2-1. So यार, lesson learned, if you're a rival fan, don't cook any team until the final whistle.
एब्सोल्युटली।
But नहीं यार, I
यार ये
watched
प्रीमियर लीग है, कुछ भी हो सकता है।
exactly.
द क्वालिटी दैट दीज टीम्स हैव करंटली। और मुझे
Hmm.
सबसे ज्यादा खुशी इस बात की हुई है, मैच तो ऑफ कोर्स विल डिस्कस इट, के
Hmm.
रेफरिंग डिसीजंस बहुत खराब थे।
Hmm.
मेरे दिमाग में वो भी चल रहा था कि मैनेजर ऑफ द मंथ कर्स शुरू हो जाएगा। बीच
अभी
में
वो
एक
एनएलडी पे आएगा, एनएलडी पे आएगा वो. नहीं किdding, but हाँ.
और बीच में एक कमेंटेटर ने एक स्टैट बताया कि
Hmm.
एंज पोस्टेकोग्लू होम गेम में 2020 से अनबीटन है। योकोहामा के बाद से वो होम स्टेडियम में अनबीटन है।
Wow.
और वो टॉटनहम आता है और इमीडिएटली ये हो जाता है। वो तो एक ऑल ऑफ दैट वाज जस्ट प्लेइंग इन द बैक ऑफ माय हेड। और
Hmm.
ये उन्होंने बताया, मतलब कमेंटेटर्स मेंशन दिस अबाउट लाइक 85th मिनट और सो।
Hmm.
और मुझे दिमाग में वही शुरू था कि यार जितना टाइम वेस्टिंग हुआ है उसके हिसाब से मिनिमम 10 से 12 मिनट का तो
Hmm.
स्टॉपेज टाइम तो
How
मिलेगा
much
ही।
time was added?
आई थिंक इट वाज 12 मिनट्स इफ
Okay,
आई एम नॉट,
okay. Hmm.
या। एंड उसके बाद एंड आल्सो सेड द सेम थिंग। उसको पूछा आई थिंक पोस्ट मैच प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में कि व्हाई डिड यू वेट टिल 70th मिनट, 72nd मिनट टू मेक योर चेंजेस।
Hmm.
एंड ही जस्ट सेड द सेम थिंग कि मुझे पता था कि जितना टाइम वेस्टिंग हुआ है उसके वजह
Hmm.
से 10-12 मिनट तो मिलने वाले हैं।
Hmm.
So I want players to like be still a little fresh
Yeah, yeah.
towards the
If you
end of the
if you bring these changes on in the 50th minute and
correct.
the game goes on till like maybe 110, तो आप 60 minutes खिला रहे हो एक और substitute को, which is again good enough time to make impact, but you
Probably
want your players to be fresh. It's not only about bringing freshness to your team, it's also about exploiting the tiredness of the other team.
another team.
And
Yes,
fair enough, man. And if that's the rationale, yeah, what a smart guy. What a smart guy.
yes, 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 yes. And just talking about the game, of course, Richarlison,
Hmm.
बहुत सारी बातें हुई। I think if you were there on Manas's stream yesterday, I think you were there, you were
Hmm.
listening to it.
Hmm.
तब मैंने यही कहा था कि Richarlison should always play when Perisic plays, क्योंकि we then rely heavily on the crosses.
Hmm.
And Son unfortunately doesn't have that prowess in the air. मुझे
Hmm.
याद नहीं है उसने लास्ट हेडेड गोल कब मारा है, एक आध दो
Hmm.
मारा है, लेकिन वो जो लो हेडर होते हैं वैसे मारा है गिर के।
Mostly Son is a guy जो run through करता है and then he'll finish with either foot and everything. Yeah.
करेक्ट। और गोल आया कॉर्नर से,
Hmm.
रिचार्लिसन बहुत ही ब्यूटीफुल हेडर, यू
Hmm.
सॉ इट। और उसके बाद ऑटोमेटिकली 95th मिनट पे उसने गोल मारा है, 95th 96 मिनट पे।
Hmm.
एंड उसके बाद लाइक इमीडिएटली, लाइक कॉन्फिडेंस जो बढ़ता है, राइट, ही
Hmm.
ट्राइड अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स अराउंड द बॉक्स इवन बिफोर दैट गोल। उसके इनिशियली थोड़े फर्स्ट टचेस जो थे वो इतने ज्यादा अच्छे थे नहीं,
Hmm.
पर आई थिंक ही ग्रू इनटू द गेम, दैट गोल केम ऑटोमेटिकली, स्टार्टेड प्लेइंग विद अ लॉट ऑफ कॉन्फिडेंस।
Hmm.
कुलुसेव्स्की का राइट लेग एक्चुअली उसका वीकर लेग है, तो मुझे बहुत डर लग रहा था कि वो मारेगा नहीं मारेगा, मारेगा नहीं मारेगा। बट या
Hmm.
वेरी वेरी गुड विन मैन। अभी थोड़ा मैं थोड़ा शांत हो गया हूँ, आई थिंक।
हाँ, now you can have like now एक एक बताओ क्या था I can understand exactly how you feel because this was exactly me against Manchester United last week. Last week complete euphoria man, did not care. I was like घंटा फर्क नहीं पड़ता, लीग जाए, सिटी जीते, फिटी जीते, I just want, I mean I was so happy that Arsenal, and you will be also happy. And ऐसी wins यार सबसे ज्यादा sweet लगती है because एक तो राइवल वाली विंस होती है, बट यू नो व्हेन अ टीम हैज जस्ट बीन शिट हाउसिंग अगेंस्ट यू ऑल द टाइम, पूरी
या
गेम में द रेफरी लुक्स लाइक द रेफरी इज गोइंग टू बी अगेंस्ट यू, द रेफरी इज ऑन योर एस, ही इज टाइम वेस्टिंग, ही इज गिविंग रॉन्ग डिसीजंस, the opposition fans are troubling you, the opposition players are like falling down and whatever, faint वेंट हो रहे हैं, and you feel like भाई अगर हम जीते ना, आई विल बी द मोस्ट अनबेरेबल पर्सन इन दिस यूनिवर्स. एंड दिस इज व्हाट मैन, इट वाज गुड. हैप्पी फॉर रिचार्लिसन, जैसे यू सेड
यस यस
कि उसने उसने इंटरनेशनल ब्रेक में भी कहा था कि there's a lot I'm going to go through. I'm going to take help of a therapist and everything, get my mind sorted and everything. And good. Uh,
या
do I
एक एक
hate
बहुत अच्छा
United?
ट्वीट आया था मुझे कि
Huh? Hmm.
इट्स लाइक जनरली जो ऐसे ट्वीट का फॉर्मेट होता है ना, कि मेन विल डू जस्ट दिस इंस्टेड ऑफ गोइंग टू अ थेरेपिस्ट। तो किसी ने डाला था कि मेन वुड जस्ट स्कोर अ स्टॉपेज टाइम गोल एंड देन गिव अ
Yeah,
assist
men
to
will do
the
this instead of going to therapy. और फिर रिचार्लिसन का डाल दो, men will score a goal instead of just going to therapy. Fucking amazing, man.
बट या इट्स इट इट एंड मुझे बहुत अच्छा ही लगा। आई थिंक आई विल शेयर दैट वीडियो विद यू आल्सो ड्यूरिंग द यू नो आफ्टर द फाइनल विसल, जो सेलिब्रेशन शुरू थे, सारी टीम साउथ स्टैंड की तरफ जा रही थी एंड सॉन वाज जस्ट पुशिंग रिचार्लिसन, सारी टीम रिचार्लिसन के पीछे थी, सॉन उसको पुश करे जा रहा था साउथ स्टैंड
Hmm.
की तरफ, ही वाज पॉइंटिंग एट
Good
रिचार्लिसन।
stuff, man. Hmm.
आई थिंक ये वाइब टॉटनहम में बहुत टाइम से नहीं था। आई थिंक एज अ न्यूट्रल आल्सो यू मस्ट हैव सीन दैट, कि अगर
Yeah.
हम जीतते भी थे तो हाँ ठीक है चलो क्लैप
Hmm.
कर दिया एंड वापस चले गए। नाउ
Hmm.
प्लेयर्स आर एंजॉयिंग, प्लेयर्स आर हैविंग फन ऑन द पिच।
Hmm.
और ये आई थिंक ये पॉजिटिविटी कहीं ना कहीं आपके लाइक परफॉर्मेंस में भी
Yeah.
रिफ्लेक्ट हो जाती है। आई थिंक यू मस्ट हैव सीन दिस एट आर्सेनल आल्सो।
Hmm.
Once you are very positive, when you love working with each other, I think that positivity just brushes off on your performances.
Hmm.
वेरी अनलाइक स्पर्स, आई थिंक किसी ने यहाँ पे लिखा भी है कि स्पर्स डूइंग द मोस्ट एंटी स्पर्स थिंग।
इसी पे मैं आने वाला था, that entire vibe you're talking about ना, when it comes to rebuilding a club ना, it's very important to handle two aspects. One is you get the players who are your main assets on the pitch to get invested in your idea, and for that you have to make it a nice working environment. जैसे सेम थिंग विद आर्सेनल भी होता है कि व्हेन यू हैव अ लॉट ऑफ दीज प्लेयर्स ना टॉकिंग टू द मीडिया कि लाइक हु हेल्प्ड यू सेटल इन, हु डिड यू लाइक, हु इज गॉट द मोस्ट जोक्स एंड एवरीथिंग, तो एंड व्हाई व्हाट कन्विंस्ड यू टू कम हियर एंड व्हाट डू यू थिंक अबाउट द प्लेस इन योर फर्स्ट 2 weeks, एवरीवन सेज इट्स अ फैमिली एनवायरनमेंट. ऐसा लग रहा है कि लाइक I'm meeting friends and it's hardly work, whatever. Is this person helped me settle in into my new home? This person advised me into this. It feels like a nice environment to come to and you want to be there. Second thing जो आज की विक्ट्री से हुआ है ना मेरे हिसाब से, is the fact that दिस स्पर्जी वाला जो जूजू है एक सॉर्ट ऑफ साइकोलॉजिकल ब्लॉक होता है, जो फॉर एग्जांपल मैंने भी जब कहा था कि जब हमने कम्युनिटी शील्ड पे सिटी को रहा था, कम्युनिटी शील्ड डजंट रियली मैटर टू मोस्ट टीम्स, बट बीटिंग सिटी वाज अ ह्यूज साइकोलॉजिकल ब्लॉक फॉर अस, जो हमने उस दिन बीट कर दिया. आई थिंक दिस होल थिंग कि यार 1-0 पे, एंड इट्स नॉट दैट दिस इज द फर्स्ट टाइम स्पर्स ने कम बैक किया है, बट अंडर दिस मैनेजर क्या ये नया मैनेजर कर पाएगा? व्हाट हैपेंस? अभी तो राइट नाउ वी आर इन अ स्टेट जब एंज डोमिनेट कर रहा है, एंज अच्छा खेल रहा है. व्हाट हैपेंस व्हेन एंज's बैक इज अगेंस्ट द वॉल? कैन स्पर्स पुल आउट समथिंग अंडर दिस मैनेजर एंड एवरीथिंग? सो I think psychologically be also it's a huge boost for Spurs, yeah. In terms of this, देखो, I am speaking here not as a Spurs hater or an Arsenal fan, just like somebody who watched football today and somebody who has thoughts about Ange and Spurs. What I think about Spurs as Arsenal is completely different here. But no, it's a good thing that the guy what Ange is doing, and the best thing is players rejuvenate हो गए हैं. Bissouma played really, at least in the highlights he played really well. Huh? Bissouma looked really good.
Yes, he
I don't
did.
know what
Yeah, yeah,
आई डोंट नो. मैंने ज़्यादा उसके मैडिसन का नहीं देखा इन्वॉल्वमेंट, आई मीन अपार्ट फ्रॉम द पेनल्टी एंड एवरीथिंग. बट आई वुड से
yeah.
द आर्सेनल फैन ऑफ मी वुड बी वेरी हैप्पी इफ स्पर्स लॉस्ट. बट एज मेरे डिस्कॉर्ड पे भी हो रही थी, रेनेसू आगे वो भी कह ही रहा था कि स्पर्स वर सॉर्ट ऑफ रॉब्ड until the time you had a comeback because एक penalty नहीं मिली and the refereeing decisions were a
Right.
kind of very weird things. And I tweet regularly also, man. Like Ange is a good guy to get behind. You know, you have these era defining. It's too early to say era defining, but you have these managers who have these personalities. Jinke piche you
Yeah,
want to follow. Pep by
yeah,
his sheer quality as a manager, Klopp as a
yeah.
charismatic man manager. आप कहना चाहो कह दो. Arsene
Right.
Wenger was a father figure at Arsenal. Sir
Yeah,
Alex Ferguson, whatever, taskmaster आपको जो भी कहना है. Ange is also that kind of guy who is rejuvenating these players. उनको push कर रहा है. And
yeah.
yeah, you're right. काफी time से vibe नहीं थी. You remember Conte and Mourinho. As much as you were winning with these guys as well, when things went bad, they went really, really bad. मतलब, I still remember वो Conte वाली press conference, right? Where it just
Yeah.
felt like the manager is against the club and against the owners, and there's just
Players
very
also.
हाँ, बहुत
Yeah.
गंदी सी environment लग रही थी.
And uske, I think we needed somebody like Ange, right?
Hmm.
क्योंकि we have always seen कि जब एक कोई मैनेजर जैसे कॉन्टे या मोरिन्यो
Hmm.
जैसे जब आपका इतना बड़ा बैगेज लेके आता है कि you have always won something at clubs and like, and these are not like winning at Celtic or winning at like Yokohama kind
Hmm.
of things, right? They are actually winning at like bigger clubs. And then you always expect कि यार ये टॉटनहम में नहीं हो, like all the rival fans were already saying कि यार Conte और Mourinho were gonna fail at Tottenham, right?
Hmm.
बाद we get a manager जो एक underdog personality लेके आता है, जो टॉटनहम की
Hmm.
पर्सनालिटी रही है.
I wouldn't even
Start
say
looking at,
underdog, you know. I would say somebody who was just written off. कि ये मैनेजर तो
right?
ऑस्ट्रेलियन है, अजीब सा नाम है, सेल्टिक को ही मैनेज करे. Like I remember when he was linked to Chelsea as well, right? Chelsea fans were on
Yeah,
Twitter were like, इसको निकालिए, कौन बनता है? This is not Chelsea. He's not Chelsea level. So he was
yeah,
coming with this already reputation of being written off, which is in similar ways what Spurs are also are treated like, right?
yeah,
कि Spurs को भी write off
yeah,
कर
yeah.
देते हैं कि नहीं यार देखो, Spurs तो नहीं होगी, बाकी कोई भी हो जाएगा, but Spurs नहीं होगी. And I think it's good that he is अच्छे से वो भी काम कर रहा है, and I think Spurs का भी हो रहा है अच्छे से. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry to interrupt you, but हाँ.
No. Firstly, thank you so much, guys. 800 subs हो गए मेरे आज. मेरा ये मंथ का मेरा टारगेट है मिनिमम 1000 सब्सक्राइबर. आई थिंक आर्सेनल
Let's
एनएलडी
go.
स्ट्रीम और ये सब के आसपास तो
एनएलडी
उससे
के
ज्यादा
बाद
हो
तो हो ही
जाएंगे आई थिंक.
जाएगा भाई, हारोगे या जीतोगे 1000 subs तो हो ही जाएंगे एनएलडी के बाद.
So thank you so much for this. Or we'll try to bring. I think Himanshu, of course, he keeps messaging me a lot of times. YouTube comments में तो रहता ही
Himanshu
है,
is a
Twitter पे.
diehard Spurs fan, huh, by the way.
Yes,
Full
Himanshu
diehard.
always
He
messaging me
doesn't
on
take
Twitter.
shit being a Spurs fan, which is admirable. Admirable.
Yeah, yeah. So thank you, Himanshu. वो every day I think वो every other day वो मुझे पूछता है Twitter पे, आलोक next video कब आएगा, next video कब आएगा. So I think it's because of you people I actually feel like doing this and creating videos for you also. Time नहीं मिलता ज़्यादा, काम बहुत होता है week में. But thank you so much for this. Yeah, दूसरी एक बात I think जो like अगर हम टॉटनहम के अभी मैच के बारे में बात करें, and then you will also let me know more about like United game because I was just focused on Tottenham game. I did not watch it at all.
Of course, man, of course.
Right?
Very weird scheduling by the way. सारी बड़ी
यस
games अभी कर दी.
यस यस यस। तो गेम स्टार्ट हुआ, आई थिंक एक you also, I tweeted to you also when you had asked me कि how's Tottenham playing around
Mm.
the first half, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, I think this is now the trend. That is what I'm feeling currently. I think that's because the players haven't actually like gotten that chemistry together. या फिर
Hmm.
मतलब वो अब तक it's a
Slow start you were saying.
process, right? It's still in the making. तो
Hmm.
एक स्लो स्टार्ट देखने मिलती है। उडोगी स्टार्टिंग में थोड़ा सा रफ था, राइट? बहुत सारे उसके फर्स्ट टचेस वर नॉट रियली गुड इनफ, his passes were not good enough, तो स्टार्टिंग
Hmm.
स्टार्टिंग में उडोगी वाज नॉट एक्चुअली ऑन हिज मार्क, और तब से मुझे लगना चालू हो गया था कि ओ शिट, व्हाट्स हैपनिंग, बिकॉज़ this has been our standout performer for the last 3-4 games,
Hmm.
and then
Did he
suddenly
recover?
yeah, he recovered pretty well.
Hmm.
Okay, see, if you see the match or if you see the stats, we had like 28 shots.
Hmm.
I think उसमें से कुछ तो कम, I think first half में हमारे 6 या 7 shots on target थे.
Okay, that's good.
We had like 15, 16 या 17 corners कुछ तो.
Hmm.
तो it was all one side, like we were just
Full
going at
dominate हो रहे थे, कर रहे थे, but it's just you could not break through them.
yes, because like
Hmm.
I told you, अब हमारी भी पहले बात हुई थी उसके ऊपर, I think I had spoken this in Menace on the Monk stream also.
Hmm.
Although Sheffield likes to go out, sometimes press you, but
Hmm.
once that ball crosses their half, they like to sit back, and they, I mean, वो लो ब्लॉक से ही खेलते हैं पूरा,
Hmm.
एंड आई न्यू के वो थोड़ा स्ट्रगल करेंगे हम, बिकॉज अगर आप लो ब्लॉक खेल रहे हो तो दे आर जस्ट सिटिंग टाइट इन द सेंटर, राइट?
True,
और
true.
फिर जो मैडिसन को जो चाहिए होता है कि नाउ ही इज ऑक्यूपाइंग द हाफ स्पेसेस और सात
Hmm.
हाफ स्पेसेस ऑक्यूपाई करेगा, वो बिल्कुल नहीं हो रहा था. दे वर अलाउइंग सोलोमन एंड कुलुसेव्स्की टू हैव दोस रन्स
Hmm.
अराउंड द
हाँ.
बॉक्स,
Hmm.
but we were not getting like through their defense.
Mm-hmm.
There was one point in the first half जब बिसुमा आई थिंक अराउंड द बॉक्स बराबर सेंटर में डी के अराउंड ही उसको बॉल मिला, and he cut through like 3-4 players, went right in the front of the goalkeeper, and his shot was basically blocked by the goalkeeper. But I think
Hmm.
that deserved the goal.
Hmm.
If I don't know whether they showed it in the
Highlights में दिखाया था, हाँ. I think I
पर
remember this one. I think cut जल्दी हो गया था. Maybe I didn't see the 3-4 काटने वाला, but I saw Bissouma shot blocked by
yeah.
the keeper. Hmm.
So I think he was that kind of a player. बिसुमा जो बहुत डिक्टेट कर रहा था प्ले, आई मीन गेम, बट हमें सॉन को एक जो सर्विस बोलते हैं हम उसको नहीं मिल रही थी बिल्कुल भी.
Hmm.
We also saw कि because we couldn't get through their players, through balls वगैरह नहीं जा रहे थे, तो a lot of our players started taking shots from the outside. तो
Hmm.
इसलिए हमारे shots बहुत ही ज्यादा है.
Yeah. This is
Madison,
what it is with low blocks. Yeah.
yeah, Madison had about like 3-4 shots on target,
Hmm.
like in the
Hmm.
first half itself.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Kulusevski had a few chances, Solomon had a few shots. तो ये सब like it was just like having shots from the outside of the box.
Yeah, you can imagine कि मतलब goal में they have just protected the center and they said you can go all around and you can be from outside, but बीच में से will not let you get through us. हाँ, ये तो यार होता ही है. In fact, this is something what City and Arsenal also face.
Yeah.
When you had Kane, I would say that you would have a better chance of breaking the low blocks because the guy's height and muscle and speed and good shooting and everything. But you have to get creative with solutions now. Abhi, जैसे you
Yeah.
were saying, Madison was not getting to do the things he likes to do. It was up to Bissouma and other players to find solutions in that. And हमें भी यही करना पड़ता है यार. Which is why we start shooting a lot from outside the box. Odegaard ने shooting start कर लिया. Partey बहुत shots लेता है outside the box से. So हमारा भी यही होता है. We go to the wings पे दो लोग आ जाते हैं, फिर we go back. Then they cover the center again. So we go to the wings and then यही होता रहता है. But yeah, ये तो यार
Yeah.
any team which is
I think ये
uh,
लो ब्लॉक के अगेंस्ट तुम और कुछ नहीं कर
कर
सकते.
नहीं
You need
सकते. Yeah, you need a Haaland level guy जो मतलब you just lift the ball in and then he'll just finish it there.
सिंगल हैंडेडली कोई तो एक लाइक मोमेंट ऑफ मैजिक
Hmm.
लेके अगर गोल मार सके तो वही हो
Yeah,
सकता है, अदरवाइज
yeah, yeah.
नो अदर वे टू ब्रेक दिस.
Hmm.
और एंड प्रॉब्लम ये होता है कि अराउंड विद व्हेन यू प्ले अगेंस्ट दीस टीम्स,
Hmm.
you will probably have like 2 or 3 clear cut chances at the goal. The
And you have
rest you
to
are
take
just
them.
and then you have to take them. You
Yeah.
cannot
Yeah.
miss them at all. तो ये फर्स्ट हाफ में हो रहा था, आई थिंक एक दो चांस हम वी वर लाइक वेरी क्लोज टू स्कोरिंग, बट वी
Hmm.
डिडंट. और तब से मेरा वो परेश रावल जैसा कि अब मेरे धक धक हो रहा है
अब
वैसे
मेरा तो
होने.
दिल में धक-धक हो रहा है.
And really didn't
Hmm.
know what to do. Second half we started again well, same momentum में चल रहे थे.
Hmm.
Refereeing decisions was shit. I think we
Hmm.
could have gotten the penalty in the first half. Time wasting बहुत ही ज़्यादा हो रहा था. I think
Mhm.
गोलकीपर को उनके क्या उसका आई थिंक फोर्डिंगहम या ऐसे कुछ तो नाम है, उसको
Hmm.
आई थिंक फर्स्ट हाफ में ही रेड कार्ड मिल
Hmm.
सकता था, क्योंकि
Hmm.
30-35 मिनट तक वो कंटिन्यूअसली
Hmm.
टाइम वेस्टिंग करे जा रहा था.
Hmm.
एंड देन ही हैंडल्ड द बॉल आउटसाइड द बॉक्स.
Mhm. Yeah, they probably should have been sent off for that. You're right. मुझे येलो कार्ड्स नहीं दिखाए थे हाइलाइट्स में, बट या वो मैंने हैंडलिंग देखा था. आई जस्ट डिडंट नो कि वो
या
सेकंड येलो ऑफेंस था. बट नहीं यार, इट्स गुड एंड आई थिंक it's a great thing that your team is coming together. Yes, the best thing is, your team has room for improvement. Agar this is the best you are playing and everything, you would not want, जैसे एंज का खुद का है कि I don't believe in ceilings, and if there are ceilings I want to break them and everything. The good
या
thing is you have always have room to improve. I
या
think yes, you said Udogi can improve, maybe some shot making and conversion can improve. So
या
it's a good sign, man. You have things to look forward to.
या
And just do your business in silence, man. You have all the fans जो loud हैं. हम लोग loud हैं कि हमें टाइटल कंटेंडर्स पे जाना है. लिवरपूल जीत गई, they will be thinking कि क्या हम वापस आ रहे हैं. City is City, they go about the business anyway. Chelsea, United, start of the season was very different. But Spurs, they're just going about their business. And I think abhi tak, yaar, like we said, what best start since 65, you said in Manas and Nidhiwal, right?
यस
13 points from 15, and it's a decent goal difference as well, right?
राइट या.
है
एंड
ना?
इट्स I mean, the manager coming into not just at Tottenham for the first time,
Yeah,
but league for the first time,
yeah,
right?
and he has an identity, man. कितने managers को हम देखते हैं कि आते हैं, they try to implement a style of play and everything. He's done it. He's done it, and he's and like he said in that press conference पढ़ रहा था honeymoon period वाला में, and का
Yes,
quote, the guy's lost the best, probably the best striker in the league,
yeah,
and he still reconstructed this team, man. It's a great time to be a Tottenham fan, मेरे हिसाब से. So, and what is, मैं भी देख रहा हूँ, you're second in the table, 13 points plus 8 GD,
yeah,
equivalent to Liverpool, right?
yeah,
Unbeaten in the league. That's amazing. 15 points में से 13 आना is amazing.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I think next two games will be a very tough test as well. But next games की तो next game में बात होगी. Today, like I said, psychologically it will be a huge boost for Spurs.
yeah. And
To
your
yeah.
number nines had started scoring again, right?
Hmm?
Uh, I mean,
Yeah, such a
like
good
that.
thing.
Lucas
Richarlison का,
now
हाँ.
started to scoring again. You also feel like that now के 95th minute तक trail
Hmm.
करते हुए,
Yeah.
you have just not drawn the game but actually have won the game. तो
This is this is the thing. Yeah. This is the thing I can contrast with Man United also. Sorry to interrupt.
yeah,
But it was basically कि, you know what, when I was watching the game ना, United ने जब पहला गोल खाया था, they
mhm,
looked like okay, they want to get back. But second goal खाने के बाद just everyone just looked checked out, man. They did not have the desire to get back in. They had to get in their youngsters academy वाले
yeah,
to actually mount, at least get a consolation goal तीसरे गोल के बाद भी. But every other team, especially Spurs का तो 95th minute में getting two goals, I mean 90th minute plus whatever,
yeah,
that you're right about the mentality कि they never gave up. They never said अरे अब फिर से हार गए, अब 90 minutes हो गए, अब तो छोड़ो ये
yeah.
वो. Never gave up. That's a huge 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 thing.
Yeah, yeah. And the team is very young.
Hmm.
Brennan Johnson, comment
Oh,
में भी
how did
किसी
we play?
ने Brennan Johnson came in the second half at around 72nd, 73rd minute. जो हमने first तीन substitutes लाए, उसमें Perisic, Richarlison और Brennan Johnson था. And Brennan Johnson almost scored. I mean, he scored, but it was ruled off because of offside. Very thin out. I mean, bus
Hmm.
his shoulder was offside.
Hmm.
Margin basically.
Hmm.
But early signs again,
Mhm.
to come into the team when you are already trailing, and then try and do something like
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Good debut, I feel.
Mm.
And he wasn't afraid to take on players.
Good.
Like for a 21, 22 year old person, when you're coming, you have like you know that you need to get a goal. So you what
Mm.
generally what you do is आप आपके senior players जो होते हैं आजू बाजू उनको
Mm.
पास करना शुरू करते हो. You will try and feed the ball to the people who are more likely to score.
Mhm.
Probably you'll be afraid कि मैं शायद mistake कर लूँ तो और like this might just in like the
Mm.
lead
Mhm.
may
Mhm.
increase again. But he was not afraid to do any of those things. Like kept
Mm.
on going. He put like a few good crosses also. Wasn't afraid to take on defenders. Dribbling skills अच्छे, उसका pace अच्छा है.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see what he can bring on to this team. UK
Hmm.
now my only like for example we don't have European football, we don't have cup competitions to worry about. Now
Hmm.
this right we have to perform well in the league.
Yeah.
और अगर ये हम स्टार्टिंग में अगर एक क्वेश्चन जो मैं बहुत स्टार्टिंग से बोलते आ रहा हूँ कि टॉटनहम का मेन प्रॉब्लम यही रहा है पिछले बहुत सारे सालों में
Hmm.
अंडर पोचेटिनो ऑल्सो कि हमारा स्टार्ट हमेशा बहुत स्लो रहता था. We would get like 10, probably 9 points out of 15, 8 points out of 15 in the first few games. Kane
Then
तो कभी
pick up.
स्कोर ही नहीं
Hmm.
करता था. There used to be jokes around like FPL also कि Kane को अगस्त में लो ही मत उसके बाद ले लो. We always had a very slow start, right?
Hmm.
That also meant that towards the end of the season, during that Christmas period, you
Hmm.
have to win those games then.
Hmm.
Because there is no other option because you have already
Mhm.
lost so
Mhm.
many points
Mhm.
in the season.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I think the team and Ange have given ourselves a nice cushion
Hmm.
going into the season. Agar, for example, we'll speak about Arsenal and Liverpool game when the time comes. But
Of course. Yeah. अभी तो जरूरत नहीं है. हाँ.
bad during those games, right?
Mhm.
उसके बाद वाले games again, there are like we have like good fixtures in the month of October.
Hmm.
They don't have like I think we the next big fixture is Chelsea directly on 4th. I mean now it has been rescheduled to 6th of November. But
Hmm.
पूरे October में again we are playing like Luton, Crystal Palace. I mean those kind of
Things you
teams.
games you can win. Games you can win.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Hmm. True.
So
Yeah.
this game actually is like massively important. Like
Yeah.
mentality के हिसाब से, I wanted to see how we play against the low block. Now we know that
Hmm.
we can low block.
Yeah.
Richarlison started scoring. Kulusevski का भी यही चालू था ना कि people were writing him off this season because at Twitter पे if you like read like of course I'm on Spurs Twitter तो कुछ ना कुछ चलते रहता है right.
Hmm.
People were not happy with Kulusevski initially. Uh,
Hmm.
I mean, they would because now his role has changed. He doesn't have to cut in now. He has to stay wide. बहुत
Hmm.
सारी चीजें like मतलब उसके रोल के बारे में भी चेंज हुई है. But
Mhm.
when Brennan Johnson started playing, he
Yeah.
started playing secondary. वो सार के पोजीशन में आ गया.
Hmm.
And that's how he started then occupying nice areas around the box and
Hmm.
the game a little bit better.
Hmm.
तो yeah, I think versatility जो है हमारे पूरे फ्रंट फोर फ्रंट फाइव में
Yeah. Yeah.
दैट इज गोइंग टू कम वेरी क्लच क्योंकि रिचार्लिसन सिर्फ आगे एज अ नंबर 9 नहीं खेल सकता, वो विंग पे भी खेल सकता है.
Hmm.
सॉन सामने तीनों पोजीशन में कहीं पे भी खेल
तीनों पे
सकता है.
खेल लेगा. He's two-footed.
So,
He's lethal
play on
finisher.
both the wings. And then Johnson can play on both the wings. Kulusevski
Yeah.
can play as a number 10 and also as a right winger.
Mhm.
तो आई थिंक ये सारे अगर तुम्हारे पास बेंच स्ट्रेंथ बहुत ज्यादा अगर नहीं होती है तो आई थिंक तुम्हारे पास ऐसे वर्सेटाइल प्लेयर होने चाहिए जो अगर फॉर एग्जांपल सार अच्छा से नहीं खेलता तो कुलुसेव्स्की कैन कम इन एंड यू कैन ब्रिंग ब्रेनन जॉनसन देयर इंस्टेड
Hmm.
ऑफ लाइक गेटिंग अ लाइक टू लाइक रिप्लेसमेंट फॉर सार जो बेंच पे बैठा हुआ है तुम्हारे, जो सिटी के
Hmm.
पास है ऑफ कोर्स कि
Yeah.
अगर एक प्लेयर चले जाता है तो सेम टू सेम दूसरा प्लेयर आके वही पोजीशन में खेल सकता है जो टॉटनहम
Hmm.
अफोर्ड नहीं.
True.
So that way also I'm like liking what is happening currently.
Yeah.
Last thing about Tottenham game, and then we'll of course discuss a little bit about United game also.
Hmm.
Bissouma, Madison. I mean, Madison of course had a really good game again. Every single attack was going through Madison. Assist या goals उसको of course नहीं मिले, but I think currently like the modern football and modern football fans are fixated on goals and assists as the
Hmm.
epitome of a performance, right?
हाँ, बस स्टैट शीट पे आने का, स्टैट शीट पे. हाँ.
पर I think without Madison, we wouldn't probably be in the game.
Hmm.
और जो हमने जो stats दिख रहे हैं अभी 28 shots,
Hmm.
we had like about 1.93 expected goals or something,
Hmm.
which is a huge number considering हमने सिर्फ 2 goals मारे, right? तो
Hmm.
we we had like good 4 or 5 big chances created. तो
Hmm.
ये सारे अटैक्स जो है वो मैडिसन के थ्रू आ रहे थे. व्हाट डू यू थिंक दक्ष के मैडिसन का साइनिंग कितना इंपॉर्टेंट है टॉटनहम की टीम के लिए, एंड
Hmm.
व्हाई डिडंट एनी अदर बिग क्लब वेंट फॉर हिम? लाइक आई नो, लाइक ऑफ कोर्स फॉर आर्सेनल इट डज नॉट मेक सेंस बिकॉज़ यू हैव
Hmm.
ऑलरेडी समवन लाइक ओडेगार्ड प्लेइंग देयर,
Hmm.
राइट?
Hmm.
बट
Hmm.
like likes of Chelsea, likes of United, why do you
Hmm.
think that, why wouldn't they
It's
go for a player like Madison? I'm happy
like,
that
I
they
mean,
didn't,
yeah, I
but
mean, we are not privy to the information and the जो भी है. जैसे for example, I think it's a little more complex जो ट्विटर पे आया था that Chelsea did not consider Madison because he was over some age, जो भी इनका cut off था.
yeah,
I
yeah,
think it's a little more than that. Um, देख, it's I won't even say कि देखो आर्सेनल में तो ज़रूरत नहीं थी. I think if we got him against versus Havertz, या फिर even if we got him and Havertz both also, I
yeah,
think
yeah,
जैसे for example how you have a very perilous situation कि God forbid अगर Madison injure हो गया, you don't have a guy who fills that same role. Of course, you can put Brennan Johnson there, you could put somebody else there who can play it, but they won't do Madison things. The
yeah,
same with us also. There is nobody apart from Odegaard who can do Odegaard things. Yes, you can play Fabio Vieira there, who is a creator, left-footed hai, ye hai, wo hai, but he's not Odegaard. And so I would have loved to see how we do with Madison and Odegaard together in the midfield or whatever it is. So I'm little surprised considering the price कि हम नहीं गए. But I also think managers have an idea of the kind of players they want, and then वो थोड़े से tunnel vision हो जाते हैं उसमें से. Like,
true,
um, हम बोलते हैं कि मेरे क्लब को, फॉर एग्जांपल इफ सम क्लब सेज आई वांटेड डीएम, नाउ दैट डीएम हैज टू बी ऑफ अ वेरी स्पेसिफिक प्रोफाइल. ऐसे तो एडसन एल्वारेज चला गया वेस्ट हैम पे, बट देयर वाज सम संगारे भी है, सो व्हाई डजंट समबडी गो फॉर संगारे, व्हाई
yeah,
डिडंट समबडी गो फॉर टोनाली अगर टोनाली अवेलेबल था. आई थिंक
yeah,
एवरीवन हैज दैट sort of a idea
thought
that man ki like what
yeah,
they want.
yeah,
And
yeah,
yeah, I think Spurs just wanted him really badly.
yeah,
He wanted to go to Spurs also really badly. It's a good match as well.
yeah,
Um, and देखो, some clubs will wrongly just let go of this year.
yeah,
Um, like जैसे Chelsea का, I don't know why they did not. They definitely need a creator. That is the main thing which they say कि हम creator चाहिए. वही creator ही नहीं है, सिर्फ Enzo Fernandez उनका creator is what they say.
yeah,
So I'm surprised they didn't go for it. United, I think Ten Hag just wanted Mount, somebody who's a runner who can play in transitions. Although Madison is phenomenal in transitions when he
yeah,
was feeding the Leicester ke attackers and everything. So I don't know. I don't know. I mean, this is all just guessing, but my assumption is कि managers just have an idea कि मेरे को तो ये player चाहिए, or their analysts recommend a particular player and उसके beyond वो देखते सोचते ज़्यादा नहीं है. They have a list of maybe 4 or 5 players, and they'll go into that list. Maybe Madison's on the list for Arsenal and United as well, but he was maybe fourth or fifth. And if Arsenal could strike a deal for Havertz, then we were like, okay, fine, he's a number one target. But great signing, huh?
yeah,
Like one of definitely in contention for signing of the season, especially in the Premier League for sure.
yes.
Yeah, it's a good.
Yeah. Spurs fan around?
हो सकता है, but yeah, no, it's a great deal for Spurs. It's a phenomenal deal. 40 million now.
Yes, 40 million.
Hmm.
And so I think so. We really wanted Madison last season
Hmm.
also.
Hmm.
Madison was offered to Conte. Conte said, "I don't want a creator." I don't know what he was doing.
Hmm.
And what happens is you miss out on such players. Then, like for
Hmm.
example, last year Madison को कोई target नहीं कर रहा था.
Hmm.
We didn't go for it because manager said कि हमें नहीं
Manager
चाहिए.
did not want the player. Huh? Fair enough.
And then if this season there is more competition for Madison, we could have probably lost this player.
Hmm.
And then we are struggling to find somebody like him because he's just not gonna give you
Hmm.
assist and goals, but he's gonna dictate your entire midfield.
Hmm.
And I'm just thinking about it that in this midfield, which is currently looking like so good already,
Mhm. Mhm.
Bentancur is still yet to come.
Hmm.
And I'm I think we will do much better once he comes into the
Yeah.
system. Also,
I also think it's also about, having different solutions for different games. Matlab, in some games, you would want the presence of a Bissouma who is a lot more stable, also can do the defensive work. In some games, for example, just say low block wali games, you would want somebody like Benta who is a little more forward going, who can recycle the ball and make things happen around the box as well. So
yeah,
I don't think it's also about like depth in the sense ki yaar, but having players for the have just for having sake, but it's also about finding solutions to different problems. You will play differently versus Arsenal, where I would say you would find Madison having a lot more influence. You will find Son having a lot more influence versus a Sheffield United जो अंदर कूप करके बैठी रहेगी, right?
right, right.
So it's all, I think, also different. Yeah, I mean, if you look at जैसे Legendo ने बोला है, imagine a midfield of Madison, Bissouma and Bentancur. Sounds
Yeah,
so good on paper, right? And for
yeah,
some games, this will be an ideal midfield. But for
yeah,
some games, you would want something else. Same with, I think,
yes.
yeah. So you would, the fact that you have so many players coming in, Brennan Johnson bhi acha kar raha hai. You have that Argentinian striker Velis. Let's see how
Well,
he
is
gets on.
started. Yeah, he just started training. He was out
Yeah.
injured.
So
This week he started
yeah.
training with the team again. So, like overall, all in all, Tottenham before the start of the season, most
Hmm.
Tottenham fans also did not uh, like foresee this, right? Okay,
Hmm.
forget about league position. I think this can change overnight. This can like 3 weeks down the
Yeah.
line, this may totally be different, right? And then you don't.
Hmm.
What I'm liking about this is that currently, because ये season में मुझे कुछ ज़्यादा hopes in the sense of like I'm not putting any expectations on the team.
Hmm.
So I don't get disappointed unnecessarily because it's just the first season of this manager. What we
Agreed.
want to do is like just set up the team very nicely.
Yeah.
Identity उसमें ला सके कुछ तो.
Hmm.
Players start playing with each other more and more so that they build the chemistry, right?
Hmm.
And then from next season onwards, we actually start looking at league position, trophies, cup runs, and all of that.
Hmm. But right now,
Despite
establish a good foundation right now.
right, yeah. But despite
Hmm.
that, if this is the start, like you said in the beginning, right? If this is the start, then it can only go better from here. I'm not
Hmm.
saying that immediately next month it's gonna go so good that we're gonna play like prime Barcelona. I'm not gonna say that. But
Hmm.
next season, 6 months down the line, we
Hmm.
probably will be much better than what we are currently, just because we'll start,
Hmm.
buying into this system a little bit more
Yeah.
every single day.
Hmm.
You have seen this with Arsenal. First few
Yeah.
seasons, of course, you know that a lot of people wanted Arteta out,
Yeah.
but it takes time for the players to buy into a particular system. एक ट्रस्ट जो मैनेजर के साथ जो बिल्ड होता है, एक जो बिलीफ बिल्ड होता है, उसमें टाइम
Hmm.
लगता है. और वो बिलीफ आई थिंक तब भी आता है जब यू सी रिजल्ट्स ऑन द पिच, ऑन द पिच,
Yeah.
राइट?
Yeah.
फॉर एग्जांपल मोरिनियो के साथ जब हम खेल रहे थे, you see the COVID season that we started under Mourinho, right? First तीन
Hmm.
चार games we had blown the teams away.
Hmm.
United हम लोग कुछ तो 6-1 जीते थे.
6-1 जीते थे, I remember that one. Hmm. Hmm.
सॉन और केन के आई थिंक पहले 3-4 मैचेस में ही कुछ तो टोटल मिला के कुछ तो 12-15 गोल कंट्रीब्यूशन हो चुका
हाँ,
था.
हाँ, हाँ, हाँ. उसको सबसे लीथल पेयरिंग बोल दिया था पीएल का, I
Yes.
remember that
And
also.
that
Yeah.
season they had the most number of like Son. I think that season Kane won both the golden most assists and the
Most
player.
assists and most goals. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Hmm.
that was happening in the first few games. So
Hmm.
the players were okay. ठीक है, हमें counter attacking खेलने में कुछ मतलब I don't have any problem because we are getting
Hmm.
results on the pitch.
Yeah.
The moment the results
The
start going
results
down,
stop. Yeah.
questioning the manager that is this even working? And
Mm-hmm.
then do you have a plan B to go along with it?
Mm-hmm.
Same thing happened with Pochettino. Everything
Hmm.
was rosy in till 17-18. जब the results were on the pitch, प्लान बी नहीं होता था हमारे पास कभी भी. हम यूनाइटेड और
Hmm.
लिवरपूल के अगेंस्ट, सॉरी आई मीन सिटी और लिवरपूल के अगेंस्ट जाके भी हाई प्रेसिंग खेल रहे हैं. They are going to break your high press
Hmm.
always
Hmm.
because they
Hmm.
just had like better players, right?
Mm-hmm.
There was never a plan B, but as long
Hmm.
as the results were there, we didn't care. The
Yeah.
moment that this started going down in 2018-19 season, I think Champions League
Hmm.
just came over the cracks. जो हमारा league
एक्चुअल जो
form
इश्यूज थे, हाँ. Hmm.
बहुत खराब था. We hadn't won an away game in like 12 or 13 games. I think 6-7 महीने से हमने away game नहीं जीता था. ऐसे कुछ तो बहुत
Mm-hmm.
सीन था हमारा. तो I think this started going down when the results stopped coming, right?
Yeah.
I'm liking कि ये जो foundation build होते वक्त starting में results भी आ रहे हैं, तो it's easy for the players also to start believing in this, that they know that
Exactly.
okay, it's gonna work out. आज
Hmm.
कुलुसेव्स्की ने कहा पोस्ट मैच में कि we kept going because of the manager, because the
Hmm.
way he works hard for us, he works so well for us behind the scenes. We know what he wants us to do,
Players
and that's why we.
appreciate that, you know. Yeah.
And this only can happen if you know that there are results at the end of the process. Otherwise,
Hmm.
people will.
Yeah.
For example, what's happening at like it's a good segue for us, right, to United.
Hmm.
Do you think the
Hmm.
players have bought into Eric Ten Hag system? Because if they have,
Hmm.
and I'm not saying because of course, I watch United games not every week. Like every week,
हाँ, मतलब
this
we
time,
have an outside view of the what's happening there. We're
yeah,
not as invested in United as we're into our clubs.
highlights देखूंगा पर सारे गेम्स नहीं देखे जा सकते जब स्पेशली जब हमारे टीम्स के मैचेस वही
Hmm.
टाइम पे होते हैं.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I can have only an outside view. Even if the players have bought into this system, do you think uh, they still? I think why the results aren't coming then? Do you think that this the lack of results kind of start creating this doubt about the system?
Mm. Yeah, what you said about, results being a very important part of this whole process thing is very true. Dekho,
Yeah,
I don't know if you watched Arsenal Call or Nothing, but
yeah,
there are moments where Arteta does some, the guide to management 101 वाली tricks कि ऐसे motivate करो अपने जो भी हैं आपके employees को and whatever.
yeah,
Sometimes he'll bring a light bulb story. Sometimes he'll get our kit man to make a speech before the North London derby. When these things work out, then they're like, अरे वाह क्या manager है क्या genius है because आप जीते हो. But
yeah,
सेम चीज अगर आपने गिमिक ट्राई करा वेर यू ट्राई टू प्ले यू नेवर वॉक अलोन इन योर ट्रेनिंग बट आप फिर भी 4-0 पिल गए देन एवरीवन विल स्टार्ट लाफिंग एट यू मेरा जो हाइपोथेसिस है अबाउट यूनाइटेड इज फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल आई थिंक टेनहाग का मैनेजमेंट स्टाइल इज वेरी डिफरेंट फ्रॉम एंज एंड अर्टेटा इनफैक्ट तीनों का ही बहुत डिफरेंट है आई थिंक एंज इज मच मोर होमली वार्म सॉर्ट ऑफ ही इज अ गाइड टू यू वांट टू गेट अलोंग विद अर्टेटा इज आई वुड से जो एक सॉर्ट ऑफ perfectionist top sort of boss hai, who you have to like follow and everything, but he can also be nice. I think, and again, this is from the outside. I don't know Ten Hag personally, but he seems a lot more confrontational in the sense ki like if he has to try to motivate a player between a carrot and a stick, na he will prefer the stick because he's one of those guys. Jaise remember Spurs ke All or Nothing mein, he said Mourinho said you guys have to be cunts, right? He basically said that. And as nice as it sounds कि like हाँ भाई स्पर्स को ना थोड़ा हरामी बनना पड़ेगा types, maybe, and you can see maybe Spurs don't need to be harami, maybe they need a guy who has a very different approach to players to actually get them motivated.
yeah,
And maybe that's the thing मेरे हिसाब से जो स्पर्स में सॉरी यूनाइटेड में यही हो रहा है दैट स्टाइल is working for some players like Bruno and maybe Rashford and everything, um, but not for everyone else. And I think the lack of results also, of course, makes it difficult for players to buy into what Ten Hag is saying. If you go on Twitter right now, and if it's not full of Spurs Twitter, although abhi to hoga, but the amount of Eric Ten Hag out, ye out, wo out, pro Ronaldo, anti Ten Hag, anti Glazer stuff. I just saw a tweet which was like, I did not want to admit this, but Casemiro is done. He has never had a good game in the last itne falane dhamkane months. So you can see the fans are in a different camp, the players are in a different camp, the managers are in a different camp, and the owners are somewhere else. And I
right,
think ये fractures ज़्यादा prevalent तब हो जाते हैं when things are not going on the pitch. You
yeah,
also were, I mean, you not you, but like Spurs in general were also anti Enoch, anti Levy, राइट
yeah,
ये बंदा क्या कर रहा है फिर से हमने चीपर ऑप्शन कर दिए एंड इट सॉर्ट ऑफ कैरिड आउट इनटू दिस सीजन एज वेल एज यू मेंशन्ड इन दैट प्रीव्यू एज वेल कि
yeah,
मैडिसन इज द चीपर ऑप्शन और फलाना ढमकाना इज द चीपर ऑप्शन टिपिकल लीवी but when things are good the players are in the same camp, the Fans are in the same camp. The fans are supporting the players. The players love the fans. The manager is in synchronization. लीवी पे तो बात ही नहीं हो रही है. And these
Yeah.
are the things यार. मतलब वही होता है जब चीज़ें अच्छी नहीं चल रही होती ना, सारे फ्रैक्चर्स बहुत दिखने लग जाते हैं. किसको ब्लेम करें, किसको ब्लेम करें, क्या ग्लेजर्स को ब्लेम करें, क्या मैनेजर को ब्लेम करें क्योंकि वही तो पिच पे डाल रहा है, क्या प्लेयर्स को ब्लेम करें, ये एंटाइटल्ड हैं, ये वो हैं, या ये हैं. सो आई मीन, for me, I think right now a lot of there are, I've said this very often, there are too many people at there are too many people at United trying to pull it in different directions. There is a management which is trying to maintain the economic superiority of Manchester United. There is a manager who is trying to guide them sportingly आगे जाके. There are players who are, some of them are giving it all for the team and some of them are just checking out. Like today I was watching the United game, Rashford एक point of time के बाद stopped going into challenges. The third goal that United conceded against us, Rashford did not go into challenge again. अगर वो चाहता तो वो बॉल जीत जाती and वो स्कोर 2-1 होता 3-1 की जगह. So it's just a lot of, it's like everyone is pulling in different directions at United and समझ नहीं आ रहा. Fans frustrate हो गए हैं. People are like नहीं देखना, बंद करो football and everything. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, there, and I've said this, United की problem तब तक persist करेगी जब तक there is not one person who is willing to be the face of Manchester United, who will be the one who will solely take the credit for good things and solely take the credit for the bad things, which I think Klopp is at Liverpool, Pep or Tiki, this guy is at City, and Arteta is at Arsenal. Chelsea के लिए बोली है, मतलब the manager is a coach, he's not really a manager. And at Spurs, Ange is probably going to be that guy eventually. Let's see how that pans out. But at United, when things go good, Eric Ten Hag masterclass. When things go bad, you know, F the Glazers and you know, F this player and F that player. There is no sort of a streamlined structure जो यूनाइटेड को गाइड कर रहा है एक आगे जाके जगह पे, मेरे हिसाब से. दिस इज माय हाइपोथेसिस. बट या, एंड जब तक ये चीज़ ठीक नहीं होगी, जब तक मैनेजर, लेट्स से इफ मैनेजर हैज़ टू बी द फेस ऑफ द क्लब, जब तक उसकी हर बात अनक्वेश्चनेबली नहीं चलेगी अंटिल ही लूजेस हिज जॉब, ही विल हैव टू हैव, मेरे डिसीजन है कि सैंचो को ड्रॉप करना है, मेरा डिसीजन है हैरी मगवायर को आप 4 मिलियन में बेच दो, मेरा डिसीजन है आपको ये प्लेयर लाना है, एंड अगर प्लेयर्स उसके बाद अच्छा नहीं खेले, दिस इज द हिल आई विल डाई ऑन, एंड मेरा करियर इसकी वजह से खत्म होगा. दिस इज व्हाट आर्टेटा डज. हैवर्ट्स की साइनिंग भी इसलिए है. आर्टेटा इज गोइंग, इट्स गोइंग टू मेक और ब्रेक आर्टेटा's करियर. अगर चल गई वाह, बट नहीं हुई तो बस नाउ ही इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल एंड अकाउंटेबल, उसकी जॉब जाएगी.
Yeah.
इट्स वन ऑफ
Yeah.
दोज थिंग्स. तो मेरे
Yeah.
हिसाब से आर्टेटा ने जो एक sort of, he's become the face. So whenever Arsenal losing or they bottle the title or anything, he will get the pelters. Not the players, not the board. He will get the pelters. Not Edu also.
Yeah.
And when things are going good, it is just Arteta, Arteta, Arteta. Nothing. Yes, Kroenke will get a footnote. Edu will get a also shout out to underrated Edu, whatever. But
Yeah.
it will be Arteta who is going to, you know, get the plaudits. So you need a streamlined structure, a person who is leading and a person whose decisions are unquestionably followed until he loses his job. ये मेरे को
Yeah.
यूनाइटेड में नहीं दिख रहा है.
Yeah. 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 I agree. I think, see, as a rival fan, तुम्हें ऐसा लगता है कि like you think of it like from two ways, right, Daksh? For example, if things were really bad at Spurs, as an Arsenal fan, you will always going to enjoy.
Hmm?
And there is no denying it. There is nothing wrong in it, right?
Yeah.
If things were not going well at Arsenal, I was really happy about it.
Mm-hmm.
As that's what this tribalism is all about.
Of course,
eventually,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
right?
Hmm.
But as a football fan, right,
Hmm.
seeing United like this forever, I think I always tell everyone my first favorite player was David Beckham. When I was growing up, I used to play on the right wing.
Mm-hmm.
And स्कूल में जाते वक्त जब हमारा सैटरडे संडे जब हम लोग फुटबॉल खेलने जाते थे, तब मैं घर से जाते वक्त हाथ में मार्कर से विक्टोरिया लिख के चले जाता था because
I've seen that story, yeah.
I was just mad about Beckham, right?
Mm-hmm.
तो वो हमने एक यूनाइटेड देखी हुई है, हमने एक सर एलेक्स फर्ग्यूसन की यूनाइटेड देखी हुई है.
Hmm.
Whether we supported Tottenham or not, I mean, though United or not, we still had respect for that team, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We would probably still want them to lose, but we still respected that team, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Currently, what's happening as a neutral fan, It breaks
Hmm.
my heart to see United like this.
Hmm.
As just a football fan,
Hmm.
a grand old team like this,
Hmm.
uh, because of, like you said, multiple people going in different directions.
Hmm.
There is no clear cut vision to where they want to take the club,
Exactly.
on the pitch, off the pitch,
Hmm.
anywhere. I don't see that synchronization between them. I don't see this cohesion between the
Hmm.
players, managers, the board, the owners. Nobody.
And there's also, like I said, Ange has there is Ange ball, right? You've put it in the title, Ange ball, right?
Yeah,
Um, what there is no Ten Hag ball. That is it. Even Mohak couldn't answer what is, and fair enough,
yeah,
he can't answer. There is no Ten Hag ball
yeah,
because they don't have a fit system. Of course, they have off-field issues, जिसकी वजह से personnel की कमी भी है. But there is no identity. There is no system where you are saying, okay, these guys are in always in win now, so they will have an academy, but they will sell their academy players, and then ये सिर्फ बड़े बड़े names को लेंगे या फिर ये सिर्फ youth को promote करेंगे.
yeah,
यू या फिर हम लोग अटैकिंग फुटबॉल ऐसे खेलेंगे. ट्रांजिशन इज फाइन, मे बी काउंटर अटैकिंग इज फाइन कि ब्रूनो रैशवर्ड को ढूंढ लेगा. हॉयलैंड
yeah,
के साथ मुझे थोड़े से इंकरेजिंग साइंस दिख रहे हैं अभी.
yeah.
बट या देयर इज जस्ट टू मच रॉन्ग एट यूनाइटेड एंड यू राइट. As an Arsenal fan, I'm happy that they lose. But that doesn't mean I really hate United. I
Correct.
can
Yeah,
be like my personality is not Arsenal and to be disappointing to a lot of people, you know. Like मैं कभी कुछ भी बोल देता हूँ यार, ठीक है. मैंने एक दिन बोल दिया कि ब्रो ये इधर का ये वाला मेरे को अच्छा नहीं लगा. टिपिकल आर्सेनल फैन ओपिनियन. मैंने बोला है मतलब आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट फूड एंड यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट फुटबॉल. इसमें क्या है? मतलब तुम लोग हर चीज में करोगे. मैंने मान लिया एक दिन किसी गलत स्टॉक में इन्वेस्ट कर दिया. टिपिकल आर्सेनल बॉटल द ट्रेड. अबे ये क्या होता है, राइट? Life is more than football, man.
yeah,
And so beyond football, beyond as an Arsenal fan, I can have independent opinions on other things as well, especially other teams. तो
yeah,
मुझे लगता है कि यार मतलब it's just not working. For the longest time, I look.
yeah,
For the longest last 6 7 years, every year I hear United are 2 3 signings away from challenging for the title, and it's not
yeah,
just fans. The pundits also believe it. Roy Keane says it. Gary Neville says it. Just 2 3
yeah.
signings, one more, two more transfer windows for Manchester United, and we'll be there in the title race. अबे तुम्हारा खत्म ही नहीं होता है यार. मतलब ऐसा कौन सा एक्सोडस हो रहा है तुम्हारा हर साल, और तुम हर साल 3 4 अच्छे प्लेयर्स लाते हो महंगे महंगे.
Exactly, exactly. My problem is this only. के what's happening there? In a
हम्म.
sense, आप glazers out बोलते रहोगे, glazers out. I mean, I'm not saying that they are the best owners, but try
हम्म.
and sit with somebody like, try and have, for example,
हम्म.
Everton's owners at your club, जिनके पास
हम्म.
फुटी कौड़ी नहीं है भाई पैसा खर्च करने के
हम्म.
लिए.
हम्म.
ठीक है, टॉटनहम 5-6 सीजन से, मतलब पिछले 10-15 सीजन से कंटिन्यूअसली टॉप 4 टॉप 5 में रहा है. पिछले आई थिंक
हम्म.
2009 से लेके पहली बार ऐसे, 2008 से लेके पहली बार हो रहा है ऐसे कि हमारे पास
हम्म.
यूरोपियन फुटबॉल नहीं है. राइट, 14-15 साल कंटिन्यूअसली यूरोपियन फुटबॉल रहा है.
हम्म.
Despite that, have we, uh, you know, spent the money as United have spent? Absolutely not.
हम्म.
Every year you come to the season and saying that we should have bought him, we should have bought him. No, sometimes just try and build it. You cannot have like short term. वो मीम है ना, वो पानी ऐसे गिरते रहता है, एक बड़ा
हम्म.
ड्रम रहता है, वो मोटा आदमी आके उस
हम्म.
पर चिपका रहता है. You can't
हम्म.
have that,
या
you
या
know,
या.
short term staples to your injuries, right? You need to
हम्म.
have understanding of what's happening at your club.
हम्म.
Try and have a steady manager, a steady rebuild. एवरी ईयर आप 3-4 बड़े साइनिंग लेके आते हो, वो नहीं चलते तो आप उनको निकाल के और 3-4 बड़े साइनिंग लेके आते हो. आई थिंक इट्स
हम्म.
नॉट गोना वर्क आउट.
Yeah, I think that the way they do that business also, they, again, this is not to say that Glazers are not an issue. They hold the club back. If United make X amount of money, a big chunk of that is taken away by the Glazers, and they never put in
डेफिनेटली.
money. Glazers have never
या,
put in money. It's all United की जो भी ऑपरेशन से अर्न करते हैं वो, दैट्स ऑल द मनी दे हैव, और उसी में उनको फिर अपने ऑपरेशन कॉस्ट भी निकालने होते हैं. दैट बीइंग सेड यार, दे आर एब्सोल्युटली मतलब they rake in money, so they have a lot of money to spend. The way they do their business also is a little sus, in the sense they attract player with huge salaries. They beat off competition for their targets by giving huge salaries, right? And sometimes inflated fees also, but fees to chodo, salaries mere hisab se are the biggest expense of a club.
problem, and I think that's the problem also, because the players don't have now the motivation to do anything. If I'm like, imagine
मैं तो ये भी नहीं
being
कह रहा कि वो चिल बैठेंगे, बट यू कांट इवन मूव देम ऑन इफ हैरी मैग्वायर इज ऑन 250k एंड सम अदर क्लब, इवन इफ यू वांट टू सेल हिम टू एनी अदर क्लब, दे हैव टू बी super crazy to match those wages. Like we were super
nowhere.
crazy to match Havertz की wages at Chelsea, which is why he
Yeah,
decided to move. But if United 250k पे हैरी मैग्वायर को and West Ham is saying we'll only pay you 100k bro, and him and West Ham are not um, coming to an agreement, you can't start abusing him. This is the economic system you built to get
yeah.
Harry Maguire out of Leicester. 80 million तो भूल जाओ, चलो जो भी है. But this is the system you built. Now you're saying why can't we sell players? Well, can't sell players because you've paid him so much money that nobody in any job will take a more than, मैं तो कहता हूँ चलो कुछ वेज कट भी ले लिया, but 50% से ज्यादा वेज कट कौन लेता है यार? Right? They have
वही
lives as well.
was going to do
Harry
that.
Maguire has no ambition. He can play regular football at West Ham. He can be captain at West Ham and everything. So I will just say that yeah, bro, this is not how it works. You offered him huge salaries. जैसे हमने ओबामयांग को दिया था, इतनी ज़्यादा salary दे दी थी हमने. He was our highest paid player, and we
Yeah,
tried to sell him. Couldn't. We had to terminate his contract. Same with Nico Pepe. We had to terminate his contract because the salary we offered these guys, nobody else was willing to pay them anything comparable. So like,
right.
end the contract, you negotiate your own salary, तुम अपने आप जो भी free agent हो करो, जो सो करना है सो करो.
Yeah,
So it's a lot of money, man. And I think Glazers, terrible owners, and you're right that there are worse owners in the world. Like remember ये सऊदी से पहले जो भी थे Newcastle के owner, the guy was terrible. Mike Ashley, oh,
yeah. As
horrible, horrible guy.
they did the same with
When
West Ham also. West Ham के जो ओनर थे, I think क्या नाम है उनका, गोल्ड या गोल्डिंग कुछ तो
I
नाम
call
है
them the
उनका.
Dildo Brothers, yes. Gill and Sullivan. नहीं क्या नाम था?
Yeah,
Gold and Sullivan. Gold and Sullivan.
yeah. Dude, even they, like, the fans were turning against them also.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
cannot like perfect like, there's only, I think, City
Hmm.
is the only club which has like money, but again, they are not they so how many times in the history, in the last 15 years or so, City have actually gone and broken the transfer record.
Hmm.
Probably was the only time when they decided to
Mm-hmm.
break the bank,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not
Yeah.
saying that they don't buy players. They do. That's what they do.
Yeah,
But they
they
will try
don't have
what
inflated transfers, but वो भी I think high wages पे करते हैं. But they do their business very smoothly and they sell their players off for very high transfer fees. So
yeah,
it's a
वो 60
fairly
60 मिलियन
sustainable model.
चार प्लेयर ले लेंगे 60 मिलियन से वाले, इंस्टेड ऑफ लाइक
Hmm.
गोइंग फॉर 80 90 100 मिलियन प्लेयर्स, एंड दे
Hmm.
कीप द बॉल रोलिंग एट ऑल टाइम्स. उनके पास
Mm-hmm.
एक प्लेयर चले जाता है तो उनके पास इमीडिएटली रिप्लेसमेंट होती है. आई थिंक दे their ownership is not just about spending money, but they have a clear cut direction, and the manager, the ownership, everybody is on the same page when it happens, right?
Yeah.
फॉर एग्जाम्पल हमारे लाइक आर्सेनल लिवरपूल, उस दिन हम लोग जो ब्राउन मंडे पे थे बेसिकली, आर्सेनल
Mm-hmm.
लिवरपूल टॉटनहम, वेरी 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 सिमिलर मॉडल, राइट?
एक
इधर
financial model
अमेरिकन
दिया पूरा.
ओनर्स है या फिर लाइक अमेरिका में रहते हैं, लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल जो लुइस इज ब्रिटिश
Hmm.
बट स्टेज इन द अमेरिकास.
Hmm.
अभी they don't spend per se like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever they spend, at least in Tottenham's case, whatever we
Hmm.
spend, it's just whatever we earn, that's all.
Hmm.
अगर हम चाहे तो अगले पाँच कुछ हम कुछ तो 400 मिलियन भी स्पेंड कर सकते हैं कोई भी ट्रांसफर विंडो में विदाउट थिंकिंग अबाउट एफएफपी, बिकॉज हमने पिछले 3-4 सीजन में स्पेंड ही नहीं किया है.
Hmm.
But Joe Louis will never infuse money into the system.
Hmm.
And whatever people say, of course, Daniel Levy has made his own mistakes. But if it hadn't been for Daniel Levy, I think Tottenham wouldn't be here where it is today. For
I think
example,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Super League की जब बात शुरू थी, right? Think about all these players, right? All these teams that were like included in the Super League, 10, 12 जो teams थे. They have won the league, they have won the Champions Leagues, they have won trophies. Everybody like biggies, right? There was only Tottenham which hadn't won anything significant in the last few
Yeah.
years. Despite that, Tottenham got the seat at the table, and that's only
Yeah.
because we are literally one of the richest clubs in the world right now.
Exactly.
And our club has become self-sufficient. We don't have to rely now on the owner's money to do anything. The
The money you
stadium,
bring in from your operations again will be more
the
than enough.
stadium
Yeah.
was a game changer, right? Again, I feel that sometimes you do not have to make those 70, 80 million signings every season.
Yeah.
Sometimes just right 40, 50 million signings also make a lot of
Yep.
sense.
Yep.
With Tottenham, our big signings have never worked out. Ndombele,
Soldado.
Richarlison, Soldado though was at that point I think 27, 30 million or
27
something.
million का था, I remember.
But Lo Celso, Ndombele, Davinson chances were for 40 million. Uh,
Hmm.
these have never worked out for us, right? Richarlison 50 million. You can't आज उसने गोल मारा है, but he hasn't yet like
Yeah,
continuously and
he's
consistently.
not justified it at a consistent basis. Yeah, I agree.
Right?
Hmm.
But at the same time, you look at the signings that have actually worked for us. Eriksen 20, 25 million, Son 22 million.
Hmm.
When we were
Udogi.
buying Son,
Hmm.
yeah, when we were buying Son, the other person who was in the contention was Berahino.
Hmm.
और बेराइनो और तब सारे फैंस ट्विटर पे अभी बीच पे आई थिंक एक 2-3 महीने एक महीने पहले पीपल
Hmm.
हैड गॉटन दैट ओल्ड
हाँ,
ट्वीट ऑफ
old tweet
फैब्रिजियो
and हाँ हाँ I remember ये हमने बात करी थी इस पे. Hmm.
एंड लाइक एवरीबडी वाज फ्रस्ट्रेटेड तभी कि क्या हम वापस सॉन्ग के लिए जा रहे हैं कौन है प्लेयर कहाँ से आया है पता नहीं एंड ऑल ऑफ दैट राइट
Hmm.
बट these are the players that have worked well for us so you need to have a good scouting system आपको every time 60 70 80 90 million spend करने की जरूरत नहीं होती है आपको
Mhm.
थोड़ा पेशेंस रखना पड़ता है अब ब्रेनन जॉनसन
Hmm.
आई नो ही इज नॉट गोना कम एंड start taking the world by fire even like immediately from the first game
Yep.
but you
Yep.
give him like a run good 6 months and he will come good right
Yep.
uh,
Agreed.
once you have gotten that base is then when you add players which probably then 50 60 million के नीचे नहीं होते जैसे in your case
Hmm.
Havertz or
Yep.
probably Gabriel Jesus
Yep.
right
Yep.
uh, but
His
till
signings have
then
also been the low key ones. हमने भी जब ओडेगार्ड को 30 million में लिया था, worked
yeah
out fairly well. Gabriel Martinelli 6 million, bro. 6 million for Gabriel Martinelli from Brazil,
yeah
right? And when it's not that we haven't spent money, but when we've only spent big money when we know who our target is. हमारे second choices या जब भी ऐसे कुछ होता था ना, Trossard 25 million, right? It's a good signing as well. ठीक है, उसके बाद I think Ben White and Ramsdale are super expensive signing, 50 million and 35 million odd for a keeper. David Raya, we've done really well, a loan with an option, not even an obligation to buy. So
yeah
I think ये तो सही बात है. I mean, you don't always need the big money. Of course, sometimes you have to spend money for talent,
correct
but it's you know if hiring Ange and if your transfer business and some other transfer business, especially Brighton's transfer business, has shown anything, there is talent दुनिया भर में. Just don't need statement signing. Statement signing होता है ना अपना. You don't need statement signings all the time to
yeah
make an impact. I
and
think you're still buddy.
I think yeah can you I'm
अभी थोड़ा सा
can you hear me now
लैग हो रहा है, रुक जा. हाँ, अब ठीक है.
just a second it's better now right yeah
Yeah, yeah, you're
so
good.
yeah first before we move
एक
on
सेकंड, एक सेकंड,
sort
एक
of
सेकंड. By the way, guys,
sure
I think almost 100 people are watching. Please video like कर दो यार. I know you guys are enjoying the Spurs win, and some of you are enjoying the United downfall, and you might be there tomorrow to see us get ditched also. But before that, yeah, South Stand View को subscribe करो if you haven't, and like the video, man. It really promotes the video and helps us, keeps us going, यार. So like the video अभी तक, अगर अभी तक नहीं किया आप लोगों ने.
yeah मैं ना अभी एक एक कमेंट ही देख रहा हूँ just hold on because I was just
Yeah,
gonna
let's
say
we can take
this
some comments
I
for
was,
a while. We can take some
I
comments.
was just gonna say this कि before we move on I'm gonna say कि 100 लोग अभी भी स्ट्रीम देख रहे हैं please like करो and you cut me in and you said the same thing so yes not London
Yeah.
forever so
अभी बस नेक्स्ट
yeah
वीक आने दो भाई.
next week आने दो then we'll be at like loggerheads with each other yeah abhi I think current match I think I was just checking the score while you were
Hmm.
speaking about
Hmm.
this Newcastle has scored a penalty
Mhm.
and they have they're kind of controlled the game pretty well also like 9 shots on target I mean, 9 shots overall, 60% possession,
Hmm.
which was kind of expected from them because I know Brentford were gonna like try and break them on counter. Not exactly
Yeah.
playing low, but they set up defensively
या
whenever
दे
they.
दे सेट अप डिफेंसिवली एंड दे ब्रेक बट वही है यार बताऊं ब्रेंटफोर्ड ने भी नहीं इतने सारे ड्रॉज कर लिए हैं मुझे लग रहा
Yeah,
था कि लाइक दे विल इवेंचुअली जस्ट गेट फाउंडेड बिकॉज इट्स लिटरली जस्ट वीसा एंड एम्बुएमो हु आर द
yeah.
गाइज हु आर वेरी लाइक इन चार्ज ऑफ इट सो मैंने भी अपनी फैंटेसी टीम में ना आई पुट इन वेरी चीकी न्यूकासल डिफेंडर अगेन सो होपफुली उसका क्लीन शीट मिलता रहेगा भाई लेट्स होप सो
यार मैंने ट्रिपियर को अभी निकाला और मतलब ये स्टार्टिंग से रखा था मैंने ट्रिपियर को, अच्छा परफॉर्म नहीं कर रहा था तो मैंने ट्रिपियर को निकाल के मैटी कैश को रख दिया और मैटी कैश का क्लीन शीट तो चला गया ऑफ कोर्स।
अरे
या
भाई
या
सिटी की क्लीन शीट चली गई भाई आई वाज लाइक व्हाट इज वेस्ट हैम डूइंग एंड देन finally West Ham tears man bhai West Ham okay by the way let me go into
यस
this thing I
यस
hate West Ham with the passion they've fabricated this sort of fake rivalry just because we bought Declan Rice and they're on our asses every time Declan Rice does not score or whatever पहले 2-3 games में हो रहा था एंड दे वर अबव अस इन द टेबल आई वाज लाइक ब्राइटन हरा देगी ब्राइटन को हरा दिया उन्होंने आई वाज लाइक चेल्सी हरा देगी चेल्सी को हरा दिया उन्होंने एंड आई वाज व्हेन आई सॉ 1-0 टू वेस्ट हैम ना आई वाज लाइक ब्रो ये एक्चुअली वेस्ट हैम को मेरे को सीरियसली लेना पड़ेगा शिट दे आर एक्चुअली गेटिंग बेटर आफ्टर सेलिंग डेक्लन बट नाइस टू
या
सी अ लिटिल बिट ऑफ वेस्ट हैम टीयर्स ऑन द टाइमलाइन एज वेल भाई
वेस्ट हैम as you will know, like London clubs में
हम्म
West Ham, like so most London clubs, especially these big London clubs, have a beef
हम्म
with Tottenham. You ask Arsenal who's their rival, they will say Tottenham. Who you
हम्म
ask Chelsea people who's their biggest rival? Of course, by rivals they will mean that we only care what happens in the Arsenal game, but they all hate Tottenham,
ओ या
right?
या
Uh,
100%
West Ham is the same thing.
हम्म
They fucking hate Tottenham always, and this comes out whenever Chelsea Arsenal or West Ham Arsenal play together. I think one of the things that they do sing together, the entire stadium sings together.
stand
All
up
my
if you
away
hate
fans is like,
Tottenham
we hate Tottenham and we hate Tottenham. Yes. So वेस्ट हैम के लिए मुझे बिल्कुल भी सॉफ्ट कॉर्नर नहीं है बिल्कुल भी इट्स वन ऑफ दोस टीम जिसका मुझे कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता वो टेबल में शायद 90th वो चैंपियनशिप में खेलते रहो मुझे कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता बट आई वुड
Hmm.
स्टिल want them to lose every single game that they go
I
into.
hate West Ham so much, man. I don't know why. I don't know why. I just hate West Ham, man. But yeah.
And their fans are annoying. Their fans are very so. I get when I see West Ham. Sometimes I get whenever we were not performing so well, right? When we were
Hmm.
mid-table in 2000, especially. But Tottenham still had that like those fans of who were like 30, 40, 50 years
Hmm.
old. Seen the
Hmm.
success in the 70s and the 80s, and they knew what
Hmm.
Tottenham was because back then, if you read, I mean, of course, I know it because of only reading
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
FA Cup was still a lot more prestigious than what it is today. Like winning
Hmm.
the FA
Hmm.
Cup used to be
Yeah,
like
you're
every team.
competing with every club in England.
Yeah. Or
Hmm.
as much as league was appreciated, FA Cup was appreciated as much only, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
91 Tottenham had won the most number of FA Cups. 8 FA
Hmm.
Cups had और तब से लेके अब तक जीते नहीं है, right? So Tottenham was considered to be one of the like most successful teams back then. तो वो
Hmm.
सक्सेस की था सब दिमाग में लेकिन 2000s में when we were mid table we would still give it to like other teams, right? Rival fans
Hmm.
को हम लोग फिर बोलते थे कि टॉटनहम तो बड़ा ही है तुम लोग क्या हो ऐसे वैसा. So
Hmm.
I think now I know why all of these teams hate Tottenham fans because now I know why I hate West Ham fans because
West Ham also.
you are nowhere and you sing so loudly. तो
Yeah.
I can totally understand that. यार मुझे ना एक कमेंट लेना था
Hmm.
विकारियो मैन आई थिंक हमने जब ब्राउन मुंडे पे जब हम बात कर रहे थे और हम टीम ऑफ द मंथ बना रहे थे लास्ट वीक
We did
तब
shout out Vicario as one of the good shouts,
क्योंकि
yeah.
he's एंड मैंने मेरे ये वीडियो पे भी बताया था आई थिंक बर्नली वाले वीडियो में
Hmm.
कि जो दो प्लेयर्स मेरे लिए जो लगते हैं मुझे जो सीजन डिफाइनिंग प्लेयर्स होने वाले हमारे लिए एक तो मैडिसन है ही नीड्स
Yeah.
टू कीप he needs to stay injury free and he needs to continue to give his output like he's doing and second is Vicario man जिस तरह से हम हाईलाइन कर रहे हैं आज भी उसने एक दो सेव्स इतने
Hmm.
ब्यूटीफुल सेव्स किए उसने
Hmm.
उसका डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन एक टाइम पे ही थ्रू द बॉल टू
Hmm.
कुलुसेव्स्की राइट हैंड साइड मतलब राइट विंग पे
Hmm.
रन ले रहा था
Mhm.
एंड सच अ ब्यूटीफुल थ्रो ही गेव इट टू हिम बहुत दूर तक थ्रो किया था उसने
Hmm.
ही हैज गुड सेंस of what's happening. He reads the game really well. He
Hmm.
holds that backline really nicely. He's very passionate, right?
Hmm.
बच्चा है यार, 22-23 साल का प्लेयर है.
Hmm.
तो ये एक जो पैशन रहता है ना, एक सेव करने के बाद फॉर एग्जांपल ही जस्ट लाइक
Hmm.
pump everybody around you and all that.
Hmm.
That kind of feeds into the entire mentality of the team also.
Hmm.
उसका start बहुत shaky था. Again, one of those players जिसको we currently, because of social media, we just jump on players so quickly, right?
Yeah, yeah.
एक मैच अच्छे से नहीं खेला, दो मैच.
First game was a little shaky from him, but उसके बाद से.
सेम हैपेंड विद कुलुसेव्स्की. उसने जब फर्स्ट टाइम कॉन्टे
Hmm.
के अंदर जब उसका फर्स्ट मैच हुआ था फरवरी लास्ट ईयर,
Hmm.
एवरीबॉडी स्टार्टेड राइटिंग हिम ऑफ इमीडिएटली कि यार क्या प्लेयर है, बॉल पास भी
Hmm.
नहीं कर सकता ठीक. इट्स जस्ट फर्स्ट 10 मिनट्स, गिव हिम टाइम डूड, राइट?
Mm-hmm.
विकारियो के साथ ये, बट देन ही पुल्ड आउट अ फ्यू नाइस सेव्स अगेंस्ट यूनाइटेड.
Hmm.
He did the same against Bournemouth. He did a beautiful save against Burnley. एंड
Hmm.
नाउ वी आर हियर अगेन. जब आज भी उसने एक अच्छा सेव किया, आई थिंक अदरवाइज फर्स्ट हाफ में हमने एक वो गोल स्कोर कर लिया होता अगर वो सेव उसने नहीं
Hmm.
निकाला होता तो.
Hmm.
वेरी वेरी अंडर अप्रिशिएटेड प्लेयर मेरे ख्याल से विकारियो, एंड ही विल कम रियली गुड.
Hmm.
एंड सेकंड इज
Yeah.
दिस, आई थिंक कॉन्टे यार मेरे ख्याल से रिचार्लिसन को वो खिला लेता इफ कॉन्टे वाज हियर टुडे. लास्ट ईयर तक उसके साथ उसके हाथ में केन था. ही नेवर हैड टू वरी अबाउट हु टू प्ले इंस्टेड ऑफ केन,
Hmm.
बिकॉज व्हाटएवर हैपेंस, अगर केन अच्छे से गेम नहीं भी खेल रहा है तो यू हैव टू प्ले इन 90 मिनट्स
Yep.
बिकॉज
Yep.
यू
Yep.
नेवर नो ही इज गोइंग टू ब्रिंग अ गोल फॉर यू.
Hmm.
Not substitute Kane until and unless you have somebody as good. I mean, as good तो नहीं हो सकता, but at least 60-70% of what Kane does, वो
Yeah.
अगर तुम्हारे team में नहीं हो बेंच पे to replace Kane, तब तक तुम Kane को substitute नहीं कर सकते. जो बायर्न
Yep.
में अभी हो सकता है because Bayern has that bench strength, right? जो टॉटनहम में कभी. अगर कॉन्टे आज होता हमारे सिस्टम में तो आई थिंक मेरे ख्याल से हम सॉन को नंबर 9 पे देखते नहीं. हम आई थिंक रिचार्लिसन को ही नंबर 9 पे देखते. ही डजंट चेंज हिज सिस्टम अ लॉट. इवन इफ हिज प्लेयर्स आर नॉट परफॉर्मिंग, ही वोंट चेंज हिज सिस्टम. हमने लास्ट सीजन देखा है, ही डिड नॉट चेंज हॉयबियर्स एंड बेंटांकोर.
Same वही Davinson Sanchez आ रहा था, हॉयबर्ग आता था,
एरिक
पेरिसिच
डायर,
तो.
एरिक
Yeah.
डायर kept on playing till the
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
last
Yeah.
moment, जब तक वो ठीक, मतलब he won't change. He would just expect these players to eventually come good, जो नहीं होने
Hmm.
वाला कभी. You need to
Hmm.
understand that. तो मेरे
Yeah.
ख्याल से
Yeah.
अगर ये होता तो वो रिचार्लिसन को ही खिलाता, और कोई खिलाता ही नहीं.
Same, makes sense. But I think it's good you moved on from him also. Again, he had very different expectations from Tottenham,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I think Ange ke saath it's a lot more. It's better with Ange, man, and it's good. I think like even I think यार अगर Emery वो यूरोपा फाइनल जीत जाता तो क्या डिफरेंट होता. बट इट्स आई एम जस्ट हैप्पी वी हैव आर्टेटा नाउ,
yeah,
एंड
yeah.
इट्स जस्ट वन ऑफ दोज थिंग्स. ये
Right,
होता
right,
तो वो होता है, आई थिंक एवरीथिंग्स फाइन. हाँ यार, सब
right.
लोग सही कह रहे हैं. एक एक दो मॉड्स बना दे, बिकॉज
Yes,
या अदरवाइज वो चैट को कुछ मॉडरेशन होता रहेगा. कुछ लोग स्पैम
true,
कर रहे हैं
true.
तो फिर वो होता रहेगा.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
तो बना दियो. आई थिंक हिमांशु डिजर्व्स इट फॉर श्योर. एंड
Definitely. I was thinking also the same thing. Okay,
yeah.
Himanshu, definitely. I will just reach out to you, Himanshu, and of course Twitter पे तो है ही. But I'll definitely. I need to start doing it now. First live है. आज
हाँ,
live आने
अरे
से
हाँ,
पहले
ऑफ कोर्स फर्स्ट लाइन, यस.
मैं दक्ष को पूछ रहा था, दक्ष यार ये स्ट्रीम यार्ड पे तेरा हैंडल टैग नहीं हो रहा है. फिर दक्ष ने मुझे बताया यार ये तो YouTube स्टूडियो पे जाके करना होता है.
Yeah.
तो just learning things guys here and there. Of course like Daksh, Nidhi, ये है फर्स्ट लाइव है. एंड आई एम जस्ट ग्लैड के साउथ स्टैंड व्यू का जो फर्स्ट लाइव था आफ्टर आई क्रिएटेड साउथ स्टैंड व्यू वाज ऑन ए फॉर आर्सेनल. और जो साउथ स्टैंड व्यू पे जो आज फर्स्ट लाइव हो रहा है वो अगेन ए फॉर आर्सेनल के साथ हो रहा है.
भाई
तो
नॉर्थ लंदन, भाई
बहुत
नॉर्थ
अच्छा
लंदन.
एक अलग ग्रुप इन दो चैनल पे देखने मिलता
भाई
है हमें.
it has
बट
always been like, because you see na periods of dominance in football.
या
Yeah, it's just been the fucking manches, man. मतलब Mancunians ही Mancunians, Mancunians ही Mancunians. Every decade can be mostly decided by a Mancunian
या
team. So North London needs to stick together, man. And
या
F
या
Chelsea, F Chelsea.
या लास्ट सीजन आई थिंक याद थे दक्ष हम लोग कुछ सीजन जस्ट स्टार्ट हुआ था,
Hmm.
ठीक है. और आई थिंक ये सीजन मैंने एक साल के बाद तुझे अभी मैसेज किया, तो आई जस्ट सॉ
Hmm.
कि लास्ट हमारा मैसेज क्या था.
Hmm.
तो मैंने तुझे मैसेज किया था कि fuck those northern supporters. Remember this? Because
नॉर्थ
after the
नॉर्थ
first
नॉर्थ
game,
इंग्लैंड वालों को भाड़ में जाए भाई,
Tottenham
साउथ साउथ इंग्लैंड, साउथ ऑफ
Tottenham
इंग्लैंड हो
had
जाए.
like the craziest run. We had like 14 points out of possible 18 or so, or
हम्म
21 और पहले 7 गेम्स में हमारे 14 पॉइंट्स हो गए थे.
हम्म
5 विन्स और 2 ड्रॉ ऐसे कुछ तो हुआ. आई डोंट रिमेम्बर नाउ. 4 विन्स और 2 ड्रॉ ये हुआ था कुछ तो 14
हम्म
पॉइंट्स.
हम्म
And you were thinking, यार, like Tottenham's playing really well, Arsenal also doing well, or Arsenal भी starting right? And you said that, Alok, I'm just not ready for a title race where Tottenham and
भाई आई एम स्टिल नॉट रेडी मैन. आई एम
yeah,
नॉट रेडी फॉर द एनएलडी यार. अभी चलो एनएलडी की तो मैं सोच भी नहीं रहा. इट्स ऑल अबाउट
yeah,
शॉन डाइच टुमारो. All
yeah,
about Sean
yeah,
Dyche tomorrow. But yeah, man, when as that weekend gets closer ना, वो
yes,
जब Sunday आएगा,
yeah,
I'll be
yeah,
like, bro, नहीं हो रहा यार. I can't deal with it, man. मतलब हम इतने सालों से, I can't even imagine, ठीक है. मतलब हम इतने सालों से ये टीम क्यूरेट कर रहे हैं, अच्छे से
yeah.
बना रहे हैं. We've gone through highs and lows, and this Australian guy is gonna come and destroy us at our home. Oof, oof, oof. No, man, I can't deal. I can't deal.
You're being very, like, humility is being shown here कि नहीं यार हो सकता है. But see, one thing about NLD, we'll discuss in length जब हम
Hmm.
NLD special episode करेंगे. पर form goes out of the window, bro.
Yeah, man.
You could be coming from like a 40 game unbeaten streak, but you come to the NLD and it just
Hmm.
it's a different ball game altogether, right?
100%. 100%.
It's just about eventually who wants it more, who, and it's margins, right? वो जो
Yeah,
एक 19-20
always.
टैकल्स होते हैं उसमें तुम्हारे प्लेयर जाते हैं या नहीं जाते, वो
Hmm.
50-50 जो होता है उसमें तुम कैसे बाहर आते हो, सेकंड बॉल कौन ले आ रहा है, थर्ड बॉल कौन विन कर रहा है.
Hmm.
It's all about that. Eventually, I think मेरे ख्याल से ये उसी पे डिसाइड होने वाला है कि who wants it more.
Yeah.
Both teams are playing well. It's not as if there is a big gap between what like we are playing. For
Hmm.
example, City West Ham, right? It's just a
Mhm.
huge gap between the way they are playing. Yes, West
Yeah.
Ham have taken the results out, but उनके आपको पता है कि it's not sustainable. जब आप
Yeah.
85% पोजीशन किसी और टीम को देते हो और आप बस सिट बैक करते हो, तो योर डिफेंडर्स विल हैव टू बी ऑन टॉप ऑफ देयर गेम एवरी सिंगल मिनट. आपका 30 सेकंड का भी आपका कंसंट्रेशन लूज हो गया, आप गोल कंसीड कर लोगे. तो इट्स नॉट
Hmm.
अ सस्टेनेबल मॉडल. टॉटनहम और एटलीस्ट स्पर्स, I mean, see, Tottenham or Arsenal are still close together in the
Yeah.
way of style of play.
Yeah.
So
I think a big factor is also कि we won't lose our players consistently to the same clubs or within the same league and everything. हमारे players भी जाएंगे. We also lose our players, but I think it's to the cream of the crop and बहुत कम ही होता है ऐसा.
yeah,
Most of our players only leave when they are not good enough, not
yeah,
because कि यार हमें अब बेचना पड़ गया है, फिर some other clubs in for them and everything. बहुत rarely
yeah,
ये चीज़ें होती हैं.
yeah,
But personally for me, I think as much as I have like half a eye towards NLD, my
yeah.
entire attention is towards tomorrow, man. We haven't
Of
beaten
course.
Everton away
Since
since Arsene Wenger. We
yeah,
never got the opportunity to play Frank Lampard's Everton. The day we were supposed to play, उसे एक दो दिन पहले sack हो गया, and then Sean Dyche came with करके and मतलब full Sean Dyche. अभी अभी मैंने literally पढ़ा that Calvert Lewin is fit and that new guy they've signed, he is fit, so he is going full 4-4-2, and both
yeah,
of those guys are like tall mustandas, man. So
of course, thanks.
Tarkowski, Dwight McNeil, Neil Mope, Calvert Lewin, oh, Pickford. Bhai, I just hate playing against Everton, man. And this is at Goodison Park also. So yeah, I'd want us to win, of course. It's very important that we win tomorrow. बाद में NLD का देखेंगे. Because
Right.
winning tomorrow means keeping pace with you and Liverpool as we all chase City. So yeah, काफी important है. Let's see.
And I'm liking it's not the teams that have made like spent crazy money who's running behind City currently,
Yeah.
right? It's the likes of Arsenal,
Hmm.
Tottenham, Liverpool,
Hmm.
who
I
have
mean,
not
we've
traditionally,
spent money, but
yes,
we
who
haven't
have not
spent
traditionally
money.
known to have spent
Yeah.
money. This is, I think, last 3 seasons. That's is when we have
Hmm.
spent money. because you had to revitalize the entire team,
वो तो यार वो
right?
तो the Kroenkes ended up owning Arsenal completely. That's why they started injecting money because now it's
Correct.
their sports enterprise completely.
Correct. Yeah. Which
Mm.
is not the case with like Tottenham, Liverpool. लिवरपूल ने तो पिछले 3 साल में आई थिंक उनको पता ही नहीं है कि ट्रांसफर विंडो नाम की कुछ चीज होती है, ऐसे परफॉर्म कर रहे
Mm.
हैं। जो टॉटनहम की आइडेंटिटी हुआ करती थी, आई थिंक बस अगस्त के लास्ट वीक में 3-4 प्लेयर लेके आओ और फिर खुश रहो, बस ये आपको दे दिए।
Yeah,
बट
but yeah.
ये टीम जिन्होंने कुछ ऐसे बड़े साइनिंग्स नहीं किए हुए, बड़े इन द सेंस
Well,
एटी
they have
100।
quality players, but they haven't broken the bank and paid like obscene amount of money. Although it's unfair कि मैं बोलूं because we spent 100 million, over 100 million on Declan Rice, but I would take us out of the contention. But no, definitely Spurs and Liverpool, who've had like, at least the fans were not. दक्ष भैया राइस राइस बेबी पे कितना नाच लिया भाई, मैं बता रहा हूँ, इट दैट गोल इट सेल्फ ने मुझे 2 हफ्ते जिंदा रखा है। मैंने वो गोल ओरिजिनल देखा, मैंने हाइलाइट्स पे देखा, मैंने मैच 3 बार रिवॉच किया है, उसके बाद मैंने वो गोल अरब कमेंट्री से देखा है, फिर मैंने वो गोल पे टाइटैनिक का म्यूजिक चला के देखा है। ब्रो, मैंने हर हर वो दैट गोल will never be forgotten. It's always fun to score against Man United. Yeah. Of course, as Spurs fans, you guys will also know you beat them 2-0. But we beat them at the Emirates in the 90 something minute. बहुत मजे आए। तो यार मैंने तो बहुत ही मजे लिए, उस गोल को तो निचोड़ निचोड़ लिया, बिकॉज मेरे को लग रहा था कि द प्रीवियस ईयर वी बीट यूनाइटेड एट एमिरेट्स, उसमें भी एडी एंकेटी ने लास्ट मिनट गोल मारा था, तो मेरे को लगा अब मैं बोर हो गया हूँ, सो नाइस, फाइनली नाइस टू हैव अ न्यू गोल, एंड ये ओल्ड ट्रैफर्ड तक मुझे जिंदा रखेगा अब।
या यार हिमाचल
भाई ये कब होगा
हिमाचल
पता नहीं, होगा नहीं होगा वो ही नहीं पता।
मैं एक बात बताता हूँ, मैं ना थोड़ा प्यूरिस्ट हूँ, मैं थोड़ा
हम्म
रोमांटिक इंसान हूँ, ठीक
हम्म
है? मुझे अंडरडॉग्स हमेशा पसंद आते हैं।
हम्म
कुछ कोई भी स्टोरी चलती है, मूवी चलती है, शो रहता है, बुक पढ़ते हूँ, मैं बहुत बहुत ज्यादा पढ़ता हूँ मैं।
हम्म।
आई विल ऑलवेज रूट फॉर समबडी जिसके साथ
You
ऑड्स
build
बहुत,
something organically, you don't speed run through the entire process of being successful, you organically go through it. I understand exactly what you mean.
and I would rather do it this way because I would enjoy it more. I'm not saying that we will probably have like crazy run like City does, right?
Hmm.
पर आप समझ लो कि लोगों को, अगेन आई एम नॉट गोना कंपेयर इट, बट डू यू थिंक आगे जाके लोगों को लेस्टर वाला सीजन जब याद आएगा तब क्या लगेगा लोगों को, राइट? दे विल ऑलवेज थिंक ऑफ इट लाइक वेरी डिफरेंटली।
Hmm.
अगर टॉटनहम एक सस्टेनेबल मॉडल बनाता है
Hmm.
विदाउट हैविंग टू like spend crazy monies like that,
Mhm. Mhm.
I don't think any billionaire today is like दूध का धुला। I think सबने
Of
कुछ ना
course,
कुछ
yeah.
है, तो I'm not gonna say कि यार American owners are better than the Saudi owners or the
Everyone's
Chinese
done
owners.
some unethical shit to be in this position.
Everyone, otherwise तुम billionaire नहीं बन सकते, right? आपने कुछ ना कुछ खराब किया होगा तभी इतना
अभी अभी
पैसा
आ
आया।
रहे होंगे सारे लाल सलाम वाले हमारे पास, सोशलिस्ट एंड कम्युनिस्ट आर कमिंग। हाँ बिल्कुल, हाँ, बट गो ऑन।
पर I would rather do it the more organic way, right? Because then, see, when you do it like that, no rival fan will ask you questions like हाँ तुमने किया because तुम्हारे पास ये पैसा आया। uh, it will be so pure, it will be just joy के
I know
I
what
don't
you
have to
mean.
worry about all of that.
Yeah.
And again, it's just my opinion. I'm not saying that your opinion is any
हाँ
wrong.
हाँ, नहीं नहीं, ऑफ कोर्स देख, वो तो यार हमेशा फैन बेस में ना एक डिवीजन होती है, लाइक वी हैवंट वन द टाइटल इन ओवर 2 decades now,
Yeah,
and I know if let's say Sheikh Jassim, tomorrow news comes Sheikh Jassim is interested in Arsenal since he's failed at United, again I am also a purist, I would also win it in a particular way, but I can understand people who are very trophy hungry, who want to see us win the league after so long, they'd be like हाँ यार मतलब क्या ही बुराई है, क्लब ही तो सक्सेसफुल होगा, एंड देन यू लव ऑल दो सॉर्ट ऑफ जिमनास्टिक्स की यार देखो, रेसिज्म xenophobiया एंड ऑल दैट स्टफ, हाउ ये तो वेस्टर्न एक्सेप्शनलिज्म हो गया एंड ऑल दैट
yeah,
क्रैप, whatever man, देखो everyone can have their point of view, you can enjoy your kathi roll with Szechuan sauce, and you can enjoy your kathi roll with just mayo and just ketchup, it's all whatever flavor you like it, man. um I just love my club, I will always love my club, as will everyone, yeah,
yeah,
Qatar आए
yeah.
या कोई आए, um yeah, that's about it, man, मेरे हिसाब से I'm a purist. I would prefer it जैसा आलोक ने कहा, it'll just make it feel more meaningful कि भाई look at where we were. ये 20 साल का दर्द, एमरी आया, वेंगर गया, एमरी आया, अर्टेटा आया, गाली पड़ी, ये किया, एक सीजन हमने बॉटल कर दिया. Let's say in the next 2 years we win the title. I'm like, bro, this entire thing was worth it. It was worth it. I will never forget this moment. Not to say जो कतर या फिर सऊदी या फिर अबू धाबी या कहीं के भी पैसे से हैं, वो नहीं बोलते कि वो जब सेलिब्रेट कर रहे होते हैं वो सडनली मेक्का को नहीं देखने लगते. दे ऑल्सो हैव दिस थिंग कि फाइनली इट वाज वर्थ इट, वर्थ ऑल
Yeah,
द पेन एंड एवरीथिंग. बट इट्स जस्ट हाउ यू एनविजन इट, राइट? इसमें कोई होलियर की बात नहीं है कि इफ यू प्रेफर ऑयल मनी देन यू आर वर्स एंड इफ यू प्रेफर अमेरिकन डॉलर्स देन इट्स बेटर. नहीं, एवरीवन हैज देयर ओन ओपिनियन, इट्स फाइन.
yeah, yeah. हिमांशु, महाभारत स्टार्ट होने वाला है अगले
अभी
हफ्ते
तो
से.
नेक्स्ट वीक आने दो भाई,
या, या.
नेक्स्ट वीक आने दो.
हमें थैंकफुली नहीं बोल सकता मैं, ये अनफॉर्चुनेटली हमें चैंपियंस लीग का दर्द अब मतलब कुछ सोचने की जरूरत नहीं है अगले 1-2 दिन, जो दक्ष को
You know,
पड़ेगा
this
बहुत ज्यादा.
week will be very good for you because you get to be on the training pitch and we have to prepare for another game in this time.
या, या.
And more games
And
mean tiredness and injuries. So,
exactly.
yeah.
So you may never know what happens.
Hmm.
But thank you so much guys. 70 लोग आप भी देख रहे हैं. Thank you. I did not expect all of you to join. मैं दक्ष को जब just 2 minutes before the stream में दक्ष को पूछ रहा था कि दक्ष यार
कोई
लगता
आएगा
नहीं है.
नहीं तो हम बात क्या कर रहे हैं? I'm like, अरे भाई, I'm like, चल ठीक है, बट हम लोग बात कर लेंगे. बट
Yes.
I tuned in ऐसे, ठीक है, because मुझे viewership नहीं दिखता यहाँ पे. So I tuned
Yeah,
in. I was
yeah,
like 122 people at one point of time, and I was like, bruh.
yeah.
So good, yeah. I'm so happy.
So, yes. Thank you so much everybody. And yeah, हम लोग अभी कल एक करने वाले थे, but I think बहुत सारी बातें हमने आज कर ली है सारे गेम्स के बारे में. Last thing before we go, Daksh, what do you think about like the other games, like City के बारे में हम लोगों ने कुछ बिल्कुल बात नहीं किया. अगर 2-4
गेम
मिनट
बजा
में
देती है. It's I uploaded I tweeted something about how City usually play, right? It's a female football player. She's running and she's acting like she pulled her hamstring and then she starts twerking, which is basically
yeah,
what City does here, right? So and that's it, यार. मतलब you think अब finally अब City एक मौका दे देगी, give us some room to have something.
Yeah.
No, ruthless killers, man. Jeremy Doku looks like he's played there for like years. Bernardo Silva, clutch. Erling Haaland scored it eventually. तो यार City, man, impossible. मैंने तो in a big preview on Manas and Nidhi's, I said City are clear winners. Rest of us will be bunched up together, but City will win the league by like 10-12 points. We'll just eat
Yes.
up each other's points. I know this.
Right, yeah. दूसरा, I think, and this year I think City will finally have their win against Tottenham, because we are not gonna play.
You know what? I was thinking हो जाएगा. Now I'm not as sure. Now I'm not as sure. Maybe.
Yeah. It is just gonna be very interesting. I'm just happy
Yeah,
that
yeah.
Tottenham is खेल रहा है. See, right now I'm in that zone where last season अगर ये 70th मिनट पे 75th मिनट पे जैसे गोल चले जाता तो मैं टोटली मतलब मैं शायद मैच बंद कर लेता, बिकॉज मुझे पता है कि हम नहीं स्कोर कर सकते. मैं 98th मिनट जब हमने दूसरा गोल मारा है तब तक मैं कॉन्फिडेंट था कि आई नो दैट दे गोना स्कोर. If that mentality is in me, sitting like thousands of miles away from the stadium, like watching it on my laptop, I'm just imagining कि players में ये कितना ज़्यादा रहेगा कि they know that they're gonna do something.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And it's the same thing with us also, huh? By the way, after last season, जब हमने Villa and Bournemouth के against last second goals मारे थे, it's the same thing, man. When we are trailing, ना, I refuse to believe हम हार जाएंगे until when the referee blows his whistle, then it's complete deflation. But even against United, na, I was like, relax, aa jayega. Of course, during the game I was panicking and everything, but I knew for a fact that we will have a say. And you know what? This becomes very important. To have this mentality of making a comeback becomes very important, considering kitna added time ho raha hai, because you have so many opportunities to change the game at the end. तो मेरे हिसाब से यार, yeah, I would say Conte would have brought in Sanchez for decades.
Yeah. That's the problem, man. That was the problem at Tottenham, and finally we have somebody. I know that the spirit is so good at Tottenham. So all the Tottenham fans who are here, especially I think एक कोई तो एक बंदा था. We'll just wrap up in 2-3 minutes.
Yeah, no problem.
एक किसी ने डाला था कि that person has started following Tottenham in the last 2-3 years only,
Hmm.
and he's finally getting to see what Tottenham is all about, right? And in the sense that attacking football, playing on the front foot at all times, this never say die attitude. Uh, भाई टॉटनहम जब मैंने फॉलो करना शुरू किया था 2007-8 सीजन में, तब हम ऐसे ही थे. हम मैं नहीं कहूंगा कि हम वर्ल्ड बीटर्स थे, मैं नहीं कहूंगा कि हम हमेशा लीग डोमिनेट करते थे, बट कोई भी मैच में जाने से पहले मैं ये सोच के नहीं जाता था कि हम हारने वाले हैं. हमें पता था कि कभी ना कभी कहीं ना कहीं से तो हम गोल मार के मैच जिता सकते हैं. दैट वाज ऑल टॉटनहम ऑल अबाउट, राइट? देयर वाज अनदर परसेप्शन ऑफ टॉटनहम आल्सो, जो फर्ग्यूसन का था, जो फर्ग्यूसन का स्पेशल जो फेमस कोट है कि लैट्स इट्स टॉटनहम, राइट? बट इट वाज ऑल एक्साइटिंग बिकॉज़ यू नेवर न्यू कि कौन सा टॉटनहम आज निकलने वाला है पिच.
Yeah.
You 80th minute
It
तक
was
you
an
would be,
exciting team to watch.
yeah,
It's a
80th
joy
minute
to
तक would
watch
be,
that team. Yeah, I know what you mean.
और लास्ट 10 मिनट्स में हम लोग 3 गोल खा के वेस्ट हैम के साथ जो फॉर एग्जांपल हमने किया है 3-0 अप. टॉटनहम इज द ओनली टीम हु हैड ड्रॉन अ गेम व्हेन बीइंग 3-0 अप एट 80th मिनट. तो ये टॉटनहम थी भाई, एक रोलर कोस्टर राइड होता है जो
Huge
लास्ट 2
roller
वीक
coaster,
में
yeah.
देखने नहीं मिला था. ना हम गोल मार पा रहे थे, ना हम दूसरों को गोल मारने दे रहे थे. मतलब इट वाज ऑल बोरिंग, राइट? कुछ ब्लॉकबस्टर है ही नहीं यार सिनेमा में. अगर हीरो मार भी खाता है तो भी मजा आता है ना, जब साउथ इंडियन मूवीज में जब पुष्पा मार भी खाता है तब मजा आता है भाई. वही देखने के लिए तो पैसा दिया है, तो कुछ तो हो भाई. वो मैच में कुछ तो हो, बॉल जरा पास हो जाए, कुछ तो. बट इट वाज रियली बैड. नाउ फाइनली आई नो कि देयर इज सो मच हैपनिंग एट टॉटनहम. लाइक the what I loved when after the match got over, जो हमारा अभी नया गाना शुरू हुआ है, जो रॉबी विलियम्स का,
okay, हाँ, big Anjo वाला, हाँ.
yeah, and that was playing and all of the like fans were singing it together. ये हमने मिस किया है बहुत साल से. I think जो अभी आर्सेनल में देखने मिल रहा है नया एंथम जो आया, नॉर्थ लंदन फॉरएवर
वाला, हाँ.
ये एंथम्स वाइब बना देते हैं यार. एक एटमॉस्फेयर आता है. आई एम प्रीटी श्योर गा रहा है.
जब ये एंथम बजता है ना, हमारे प्लेयर्स इमोशनल हो जाते हैं, देन दे एंड अप कंसीडिंग इन द फर्स्ट 20 सेकंड्स. हमारा तो ये अलग ही है भाई.
I hope that happens next weekend.
Yeah, bro, imagine. But that will be the loudest North London forever, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yes, man. Even I am loving Big Ange instead. Of course, this is Big Ange ball. So thank you so much, guys. जितने भी लोग अभी भी है, प्लीज लाइक करो, सब्सक्राइब करो. मुझे पता है बहुत सारे लोग ए फॉर आर्सेनल से ही यहाँ पे आए हुए हैं, बट अगर इस स्ट्रीम में कोई लोग रहेंगे जिन्होंने ए फॉर आर्सेनल को नहीं सब्सक्राइब किया अब तक, तो उनको भी प्लीज सब्सक्राइब कर दो. दक्ष, डिस्पाइट बीइंग एन आर्सेनल फैन, very 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 good human being, and that's what matters. Content is
I tried my hardest, bhai. Try my hardest to be a good human being despite being an Arsenal fan.
So yeah, thank you guys and good night. We'll see what happens tomorrow. 2 London rivals clubs are playing, and next week is North London Derby. We'll be back for that. Good night.
Chalo.